Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. Today, guys, we're taking a look back at Delphi. We're going back to the beginning, per se. I'm excited to be here with you all. Hope you had a great night last night, and I hope you're having a great start to your day today. Let's get this show on the road, guys. Let's do this thing. Hello, 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 hello. How are ya? Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining me today. It's great to be here with you all once again. Hope you guys, like I said, had a great night last night. And again, today, guys, we're looking into Delphi. We're going to go back for those of you guys that don't know a lot about it and try and bring people up to date, starting back from like what's the beginning. Salty Sleuth, has helped out with a lot of this stuff with me, and she sent me something really great. I think that will give you guys pretty much a even keel on what's going on with this to understand it, most of it. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. Um, so that's what we're doing today. Again, I hope thank you guys that joined me last night just to hang out. Kind of bored with you. Thank you, ATS. Kind of bored last night and don't normally do Tuesdays, but kind of missed you guys. So you know how that goes. But thank you guys for being here with me today. I do appreciate you all so very much. Speaking of, let's see who we got with us today, if we can. Today it looks like Jaylet's in the house. Rock Chalk, welcome back to you, my dear. My condolences, by the way. I heard that you had something you had to handle, and it's not usually a good thing. So my condolences to you for that scenario. Miss Zelda's in the house. Welcome back to you, Zelda. Great to see you. The lovely Miss Ashley Nicolette. Thank you for being here today. Miss Sweet Surrender, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. My sister Brandy B, the OG's in the house. What's going on, Brandy? Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you all and all the mods always. Kels is in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Rita Boston, welcome back to you. Great to see you all. Let me see here, Jaylet. Good to see you. Let me see here. DS, welcome back to you. Great to have you here. ATS News, always a pleasure. Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining us. Again, I think I said DS already, but welcome back anyway. Daisy Dead, good to see you, dear. Thank you for being here. War Eagles in the house. Roll Tide Roll. You know how that goes. Good to see you, War Eagle. Thank you for joining us, dear. All right. Let me see. Who else do we have here? True crime questions with me. All right. Thank you again for joining us today. Nat Cat, welcome back to you. It's always great to see you in the house. Teresa, welcome. Good to see you. Robert Bell, welcome back to you, brother. Amy, how are you today? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Tina B, welcome to you. All of you, welcome. And again, my condolences, Rock Chalk. I am so very sorry for that. It's a horrid thing. Rest in peace, Canine Officer Bain. Another law enforcement official gone too soon. And folks, a lot of people don't look at canines as being the same as a human police officer, but they are. They absolutely are. They put the service in, they put the work in, and they are just as much as important as a police officer, a human being. So when we lose them, it's a sad thing. So again, my condolences to that scenario, Rochok, and thank you for putting that up. And we appreciate the info. Awesome, Amy. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I hope for those of you that did join me last night, I hope you kind of enjoyed yourself a little bit. It was a good time for me. I love music and anything that has anything to do with it. So, you know, it's a good time. So, thank you guys once again for joining me last night. I like just hanging out sometimes, not having to talk about serious stuff and just talking to you guys because you guys are a great, great community of people. And sometimes it's just nice to do that, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to be here just for true crime. We can just hang out. It's a community, folks. It's a family, people talk. We can just trade recipes, talk about our dogs, look at music, all that kind of stuff, guys. It's close to the holidays, especially. And I like to spend more time with you guys around the holidays because there's a lot of people that come into this community that don't have anybody else. It's just us. We are all that they have, and that's sad to me. And I don't want these people being alone around this time of year. Okay. So sometimes just hanging out is just a good thing to do. Okay. It really is. Murky Piglet, great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. That's a great point. Thank you for saying that, Murky. So sad. They are more active than human officers sometimes. That's fact. That's a fact. When I was 9 years old, I had a retired canine that was actually part of the military police that was given to my father. His name was Dutch, uh, purebred German Shepherd. big, beautiful dog. He was so amazing. I was 9 years old, and this dog was given to my father because the person that had him could no longer keep him. He was retired from the military police in Germany. He was raised in Germany, trained and bred in Germany, so he only understood German commands for quite a while until we got him used to the other. Um, so I mean, it was just an amazing animal, and he protected my home and my family like you would not believe. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing dog, and I miss him so much. Um, so I get it, and that dog was just you have no idea the training, the heart that that dog had. It was just amazing. So I can only imagine. I know a couple people. A friend of mine's police officer is a canine officer, and the training that he went through with his canine is just amazing. So Tomboy Charm, welcome to you. Thank you, Miss Brandy. Again, guys, any of you that have donated in the past to this through Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App, it is so very appreciated, guys. And it is appreciated now. Anybody that should choose to donate to that, the bills are due, folks. The internet, the StreamYard, all that fun stuff. It's time to pay that stuff again, so I can keep coming. So anybody that would like to choose to donate to that, it is definitely not expected, but it is more than appreciated, so I can keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you all again so very much for anybody that should choose to do that. And Brandy, thank you for putting that up. I appreciate you, dear, very very much. Well, thank you, Amy. I do appreciate you so much for that. That's a wonderful comment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I watch a lot of Idaho 4 videos from so many people just to listen to some. I don't like some. It's crazy, but you and Crime Cert, well, thank you, dear. I really do appreciate that when you guys say things like that to me. It means the world to me, guys. Because there's times that I doubt myself, to be honest with you. And it's not because of what anybody says. Okay, it's me, you know. Thank you, Piglet. Thanks for the info. I appreciate that. Hey, Val, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Um, but I do doubt, if the stuff that I'm giving you guys is good enough for you guys, because I've always said that you guys deserve nothing but the best. That's exactly how I feel about that. Um, and when I do something or I put something out and it doesn't come off to me to be like the best that I think I can do, well, then it's not good enough for you, in my opinion. So again, thank you for that, Brandy. I appreciate you. Um, so then again, I have to find that out and deal with it the best way I can to make it better for you all because again, you guys deserve nothing but the best because you are the beautiful people. Fact, folks, fact. Deborah Thompson's in the house now. Good to see you, Deborah. Thank you for joining us. We got 30 likes. We got 57 people, guys. Let's see if we can make that match. Let's get it up there. Let's get it up there. Can one of the mods drop a link to gift memberships? Oh, Miss Katie doesn't have her membership. Kyla Delilah, welcome. Good to see you. Again, as far as members go, thank you, Meatball, so very much for joining me today. Jumping in the sauce and floating around with me so we spill a little bit of that sauce today and get some stuff out there, guys, to teach you guys a little bit more about this case we've been looking at. It needs looked at bad. We all know that. And thank you, Ashley, for that. That is so very caring of you. I appreciate you. Ooh, Kyla Delilah, welcome again. I've been down some rabbit holes lately, but I always come here because the drama is way too much elsewhere. It is bad. I agree. We have it here too, Kyla, but we try to eliminate it as fast as we can and we try to keep it out of here. We get our mods have full cans of troll spray to get rid of these trolls when we need to. And we really, really try to eliminate it as much as we can. Miss Shelley Steer, thank you for that. Gifted a true crime membership to Miss DS. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Shelley. God bless you. That's a fact. What is going on with this? Did that take through? I hope that. All right. It looks like Miss Zelda has been a member for 9 months. I think it's been longer than that, but congrats on that, Zelda. You are appreciated so very much. I don't know why this. What is going on with my? I need somebody to take a look at this stuff because it needs to be done better or something. Shelly again gifted another membership to Pammy B. That's awesome, Shelly. Thank you so very much. Please, guys, let me know if you're picking up these background sounds. I don't know if it's working right or not. I've had some issues with this stuff lately. Welcome to the new meatballs, and thank you, Shelly, for that. God bless. That is so awesome of you. I appreciate you so very much. Excuse me. Well, thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. Welcome, Lisa Vallejo. Good to see you. You are a blessing, Rita. I appreciate the comments, all the kind words. You guys are amazing. Karma Police is in the house, guys. Let's welcome everybody that's jumping in now. Newman25, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate you. The lovely Miss Not That Nikki's in the house. I hope you're feeling better, my dear. Great to have you here today. I appreciate you so very much. Looks like Miss Zelda gifted a membership as well. Teresa was gifted a membership. That's so very awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Zelda. I appreciate you more than you know. God bless. I love you guys so very much. I appreciate everything you guys do. Absolutely understandable. Understandable. Mama Bear, I think, was supposedly kind of available today. I don't know if we'll see her, but we will see. All right. Looks like Miss Ashley's gifted a membership, and this one went to Robert Bell. Congrats, Robert and Ashley. Thank you again, dear. I appreciate that very, very much. We will get Miss Katie back into the sauce with the rest of us here one way or another somehow. For those of you that are being adequated to the sauce, becoming a member again, that were already members, welcome back. It's great to have you back in the sauce with us. I do appreciate you all so very much. And Teresa, congrats and welcome back. If you were, I thought you were before, but if not, welcome, period. So thank you for that. And for being part of this family, we do appreciate that so very much. Bombshells in the house. What's going on to you? Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you here. And Pammy B, again, welcome back to the sauce, Pammy. It's great to have you here with us as part of this awesome community that I do adore so much. Very good to see you, Miss Jane Bosch. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Wednesday to you. You guys are great. Love you, love you, love you. So, like I said, Salty Sleuth is really, as you guys know, she's been really, really like in this case. She's helped me with a lot of research on this stuff because some of this stuff is hard to find. The documents are very hard to find because Judge Gall had put things out in weird ways and just it just wasn't. It's been a pain in the butt. We'll just put it that way to find stuff on this. And all of you guys are really helpful. Not just Salty. All you guys are when it comes to finding things. Excuse me, folks. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that, buddy. Um, but Salty has really been on top of this, and I really want her to know how much I appreciate that. And all of you guys, please know she puts the work in, folks. She works a full-time job, basically. She takes care of kids, and she's still digging and working on this. And I'm researching like with blinders on. It's hard to find anything. And she just sends it to me when she finds it with no problem. So I really do appreciate her wholeheartedly and all the hard work she puts in, Salty. So thank you for that. This little thing we're going to be looking at today came from her, as a matter of fact. I'd have never known about it. Mike D's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Yes, new members, you are now have the new meatball emojis available to you. Thank you, Zelda, for putting that up there. I can't really see him this way, but over in the other chat, you can. Danger Zone in the house. What is up, my brother Dan? This is another gentleman here, guys, that I have nothing but true love for. This man has got the soul of an angel and the heart of more. Okay. Dan is a good person all the way around, upside down, inside out. And, as all of you guys are, seriously, you really are. But Dan, I want to personally say thank you to you for being part of this community, wading through all of the deep, deep, crappy shit that's happened and still standing up and being here, my friend. I appreciate you. I really do. And I enjoy the fact that Dan is here. I like having this person around as I do all of you, but there's specific people in here that have really come through some crap and still stand by me as a creator and support me as a creator. You know, Firefly, she's in here all the time, and she's gone through some crap in some senses. A lot of you guys have. There she is, the lovely Miss Sherry. Miss Wisdom speaks here, my amazing assistant. She does so much for me as well as a moderator. All of you guys do. Okay, all of you guys do, and I can't. I know I'm sounding kind of mushy today, but I think about these things when I'm not in here with you guys, and it's like, people are people, but some people are just they need that it needs to be known the things that they deal with, the things that they do. Um, and I really appreciate people like Dan and Sherry and Miss not that Nikki. She went through a whirlwind of crap as well. And she saw the other end of it and realized that this is not for me and came back over here and said, "Hey, thank you for doing what you do. I watch and respect you and things like that. This is what I appreciate from you guys. It's real. You guys are real people. There's a lot of people that come through here that aren't real. Okay. And that to me is just a waste of all of our time. It is. Why deal with fake people? One thing that I don't use the word hate. I don't use it because I don't like it. It's a very strong word, but I'm about that close to saying it. When it comes to fake people, okay, I don't like fake people. Everybody knows that knows me. I don't like fake people. There's no point in that. Why the fakeness? What's that all about? Come on. You know what I mean? Be you. Be you and be real. And if that's not the case, then don't be here. That's all I'm saying, folks. And I love you guys so very much. And I just want to enlighten certain people that have been here through everything, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? And that's it right there. And that means more to me than any dollar or anything anybody could ever say to me is that right there. I do, but I believe in Dago. My friends here, the mods, the sauce, and that's it. God bless you, Nikki. Thank you for that so very much. And oh my goodness. Good God. Miss SRB's in the house, and look what she just did. 5 memberships. Heather Mosser, Tamara Terry, Bonnie M, Sarah Bear, and Corey Turdia. We're gifted. Good gracious, good God. Thank you so much, SRB, for that. That's amazing. War Eagle. Then at turn dropped. Are you guys having a competition or what? Dropped 10 more memberships, and that went to Crime Solver, Sherry N. Natural Healing, Sleuth Cat 77, Mimi, Suzanne Seidel, I Hear Circus Music, all the shirts, all things silver, Brandy Wine and True Crime, who doesn't even like me, but that's okay. That is awesome. You guys rock and roll. God bless and thank you so very much. So very much. SRB, War Eagle, I love you guys so very much, and thank you for that. And welcome to all the meatballs. Welcome back to the sauce. For those of you that were already existing, and Dan, thank you for that. All of you, welcome though. It's so great to have the memberships, the new members. Josie's in the house. Good to see you. Danger says, thanks, Dago. I try to stay away from the BS and support the folks looking out for the victims and providing interesting info to building strong community. Thank you, Dan. God bless, brother. I appreciate you so very much. I really do. I hope that that's, solidly known. Hope, folks. Miss Valerie donating memberships. Thank you, Val. Good Lord, we got 5 more. That went to T. Combat Vet Prices, Space Junkie 69. Just saying, Jen Urbic. She's gonna love that. Yeah, don't be making my eyes leak today, guys. That's exactly right, Tomboy. Thank you. And thank you all for that so very much. Val, that was awesome of you. God bless and thank you so much. Really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Blah, what's going on? Good to see you. Bismo Funyuns. Love the name. Good afternoon to you. It's all good, Eddie. Eddie's in the house. And don't worry about that, my friend, ever. Nobody ever needs to apologize for being late. So do I, Kels. Absolutely. Love and respect her so very much. They probably are, Dan. They probably are. When I'm sleeping, I do hear things still, folks. I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, this house is haunted. God bless. You guys are awesome. Seriously, thank you guys so very much for that. I gotta. I was informed earlier that my mail. I need to check my mail, and I'm such a dingbat. I'm looking in my email, and it was like, no, no, you gotta go check your actual mail. I'm like, okay, and I will be doing that here. I had a bunch of other things, and then I forgot I was running late, so I had to set this up. But I will get to it. I got to go all the way out to the road to get it, so I'm being kind of lazy, but I will get it, or my son will bring it in here in about 10 minutes. So that will help. It's okay. Come on in, guys. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come sit down. Let's talk. Have a conversation with me. Robert Bells. I just can't stand creatures that don't think that BK had nothing to do. That don't think that BK had nothing to do with that before. Show us the proof from it. I understand, my friend, and I'd really love to see some serious proof. I would. I really would. I know it's not my right to request that. MIA's in the house. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for being here. She's been around for a long time too, guys, and she supported me through some dark times as well. Under a different name, of course, but I know who she is, and she's come through those dark times and still stands by me. God bless. And I do know. Please know that I appreciate and love all of you that have done that more than you guys know. Excuse me for that. I'm sorry. Nikki says, David, thank you for creating a wonderful, tight knit community. It's an honor to be part of it. It's an honor to have you as part of it, Nikki. And I thank you for that as well. Lucille's in the house. Good to see you, Lucille. Thank you for joining us. Good Lord, guys. I wish that, like, I want to do something for you guys. My wife bakes her brains out. She's going to start this stuff tomorrow, too. I wish I could just, like, have baked cookies and give them to you guys because they're so good because I can't eat them, you know? Cryptic Conversions is in the house. What is going on? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Ooh, some bunny went to the beauty parlor. Oh, well, thank you. Nope, I don't go to no beauty parlors. I do this all myself, every bit of it, with these two little hands. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I don't trust anybody to cut my hair or to do any of this. I just don't because if somebody messes it up, then I got to wait for how long for it to come back. You know what I mean? And if I don't like it, then I'm going to be unhappy. And let's be honest, guys, this mug is bad enough as it is. And I have to come look at you guys and you got to stare at me every day. So I got to look as clean cut and the best I can for you guys. Email me meme of cookies. There you go, Val. That'd be awesome. So, but thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, I do all this on my own. Me and a little mirror in my own two hands. That's about it. Thank you so very much for that as well, MIA. That's fact. Nobody's perfect. But you know what? You guys are pretty damn close to it. I'll tell you that much. Mr. Eddie's in the house. Cookies, please. Be right back. Gotta cut my bank. Thank you, Cryptic. I appreciate that very, very much. Very, very much. The color, as you all can tell, this is not my normal color, folks. But the thing I found out with this stuff, not that anybody cares, but for some reason, because I'm gray under all this, right? You guys have seen that. So, um, for some reason, when I put this stuff on, the gray, the colorizing does some weird shit, and it does this, okay, and it almost looks like it has a red tint to me. So it's probably going to be fading. I've noticed it along the edges where it's growing in. It's starting to get that, so I'm not going to look like this for too long. But if you guys like it and it keeps everybody satisfied, not having to look at the ugly mug that I normally have, then you guys, I'll keep doing it for you. I know Miss Brainy don't like it. She never has. She's told me 100 times, time and time again, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But I can't handle it, folks. I feel like I'm 70 years old by looking at myself in the mirror, and I shouldn't because I'm only going to be 50. So, you know what? That's what my mom said, Josie. But like, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a shitty picture of me with my gorgeous wife. That is what my natural color is, okay? And it's just I can't if I put that color in my hair, it looks like somebody took a black Sharpie to me, and I look like I was colored in. It's ridiculous. Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. What's going on, darling? Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. It has. It's lightened up to like a reddish color. It's weird, but whatever. I'll be a ginger for a while. M cause, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you, Cryptic. She's amazing. She's beautiful inside and out. She's so smart. Woman's got 2 degrees. She's a hard worker. She's got a phlebotomy license. She's a dialysis technician. She's got uh, a nursing license and so I mean, this woman is just amazing, and this is the love of my life. So you guys see why I can't ever get nobody will ever stand up to her. Nothing against anybody else, but this woman right here is just my whole heart and soul. Oh, thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that very much. Emma Wan's in the house. Good to see you, Emma. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Lucille. And again, thank you, Cryptic, for that. It does, it fades. Um, again, Nikki, thank you, thank you, thank you. Get an ash one next time, but I like okay, thank you, Val. Fallon, good to see you. It's been a minute. See, this was a medium brown, and I was afraid if I went to the dark brown, because that's what my hair normal color is like a dark brown, almost to a light black color is the natural color. I figured if I did the dark brown that it would be super dark, but then I keep forgetting once you do it, then it does fade and it would probably fade into my normal hair color. So next time maybe I will go with the dark brown. Yeah, oh my god, yes, Nikki. She absolutely is the world to me. I couldn't ask for anything better. I don't even deserve her, guys. I don't in any way, shape, or fashion. But I got lucky. I did. And she says that about me, but I disagree. I disagree. Thank you, MIA. Thank you for that, Cryptic. I wish it was just a tinge more darker. You know what I mean? I'd be okay with it. But I know it's gonna fade, and pretty soon I'm gonna have this weird looking washed out shit that I'm gonna have to fix it. So enjoy it while you can. Yes, Fallon's in the house. Lisa R, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. What if I dyed it purple, folks? What do you think? Or blue? Like one of them blue lights on the tree. How about that? Would you guys still watch me? Sandy Toes. Thank you for that comment and welcome. Good to see you here. He who finds a wife finds a good. That's absolutely right. I just wish I would have found her first before the first creature I was married to. But I'll tell you this: I do know if I wouldn't, it got things happen for a reason, and I had to experience that in my life. My children came from the first creature I was married to, and I just wasn't that time. And we waited, and now here we are, 21 years later, and I absolutely feel the same way I had the. I've always never. It's never changed. I've always got that butterflies in the stomach feeling every time I see her. When she's gone, she comes home. Whenever I touch her, it's always the same. It's never changed, you guys. Never. This woman is the absolute undisputable love of my life, period, and soulmate. So we would not see Mrs. Dago. She doesn't want me to diet either, but she knows that it like affects me like within my confidence levels and stuff like that. So she doesn't argue about it. She tells me sometimes, like she's the one that told me when it was too dark the one time. She was like, "Honey, that's you looks nice, but it's a bit much." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree." So absolutely. That's fact. That is fact, Miss Molly. See, that's good, Lisa. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be in any fashion. If you can get that, then you're lucky. See, I don't think it does either, but to me, it makes me look older to me. That and, of course, my other issues, but, that's why I try to detract from the other things by changing other certain things, but it is what it is. That's fact, Rita. Yes, the first one was a creature. This one is my heart, my soul, and my beautiful wife. Thank you, Doodle. Good to see you, Doodle. And thank you for that comment. She is absolutely. And the thing is that she's so beautiful inside that it just makes the outside look like you wouldn't even like the sun is well to me the sun does rise and set on top of her as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, a little bit. Josie knows. She knows me. You're fact. That's fact. So it is what it is, guys. I'm just like I said, it's been last year in my 40s. I got a little bit weirded out by it, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? So when you turn 50, yes, purple mohawk. I told you guys, blue or purple or pink or something like that. You guys would come in here and run like hell. You'd be like, well, okay, he went crazy. It's time to move on. Absolutely, Doodle. Absolutely. Absolutely. There she is, Salty Sleuth. Good afternoon, darling. Thank you for joining us today. It's wonderful to have you here. Good to see you. Still a baby to me. That's fact. That is fact. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong at all. Driving and listening. Yes, ma'am. Like I told you guys, she's hard working, always working, hard working, taking care of kids, and researching on this and sending it to me to help me out. This woman's amazing right here. Thank you again, Salty. I appreciate you. CR's in the house. Great to see you, CR. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing wonderful today. 89 people here with 55 likes. Let's make that match, guys, and let's get this thing on the road if we can. Rowena Moses, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. People were looking for you yesterday. J Lit, all you guys. It's so awesome to have you here. It's what we do. It's what that's fact. This woman is a busy woman. And I'm telling you guys, she does deserve the props, that's for sure. Thank you again, Salty. Got me stumped. Good to see you. Licking the like button. All right then, Josie, you do that. All right. All right. All right. That was great. That was great. All right, guys. Let me get this stuff up and rolling. I've talked enough. You guys are sick of hearing it. 1 second here. What you're about to watch is a doc. All right. Move that out of the way. And again, like I said, this was sent to me via the awesome Salty Sleuth, helping to find the stuff that I'm having. I am definitely struggling finding the things that I want to find on this stuff, guys. And if you guys are as well, I do get it. Not everything is the easiest to find. This will take us back a bit, okay? And show a lot of people that don't know what's going on with this case to get you kind of caught up a little bit. Excuse me. And help you understand more about what may have happened. And there's going to be some other things we're going to go through over the next period of a couple weeks to get it all out there for you guys to understand everything that has happened in this case. And then at this point, you'll be able to see why we're where we are at this point. Okay. All right. One moment here. Andy Kane, good to see you, friend. Hope your guys' state is as nice out Rhode Island because I'm out. No, it's not. It's freezing here. Oh yeah, Mob Crew helped with the drone footage in the beginning. Yes, yes, Mob Crew did. They do good stuff too, guys. Again, Brandy, thank you for that. And thank you to anybody that has donated to this to support the channel. Like I said, guys, the bills are coming due for the internet, the stream yards, and all the other good stuff. So it is appreciated and it does help keep me going, guys. So thank you for that so very much. I wish it was nice here, Andy, but it's freezing. All right. Let me get this going, folks. Oh, hold on one moment, everybody. Molly's got the mails. Oh, yeah, I have. Thank you, Molly. I have that too. Appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, Molly. All right, guys, let's do some stuff here. I hope this all goes well. I tried to check this to filter. I think we're good. We shall see. Now, again, mind you guys, remember this case started 6 years ago when this initially happened, okay? And it's taken this long to get up to this point with everything that has happened. So, and we'll talk throughout this as well. All right, here we be going.
My name is Hannah Shakespeare. I'm a television feature film writer. I've been in the business for the last 25 years, and I've made a career of plotting murder mysteries. And I focus primarily on crime shows and work for some of the top television companies in the world. When I read a story about a true crime in the press, what interests me is not what's being said. What interests me is in what's not being said. And I can tell you where the things are being omitted. And that tells me that there's an injustice that exists there, and it bothers me. I mean, I can't live with it. So a couple of years ago, British newspapers were claiming that they couldn't identify a dead man in Northern England. And I found that odd given the digital age. So because I'm nosy and I can't live with things that don't add up, I got on a plane and I went to England. So when I got there and started digging, miraculously, I did what the authorities claimed they couldn't do. I found out the identity of the dead man. Solving that mystery in England was really the spark that told me I have to do this for the rest of my life. I just want to get in and get out. I'm nosy. Why are you saying that? I'm insistent. I will do anything I can to try to get this out. I'm compulsive. How many feet away is a house? My last name is Shakespeare. I mean, what tangle?
Just so you guys don't get confused, she's just telling her like a story, giving you guys a backstory on who she is and why she did this documentary about Delphi, okay? Just so you guys don't get lost in translation here. That's why she's kind of talking about this stuff. Welcome, Eddie Van Halen, and good to see you. So that's what the beginning part is, and then it rolls into it, guys. So I just don't want anybody to get confused. Thank you, guys.
Webs we weave. I want to untangle webs. It's a compulsion.
Well, this city of 3,000 is on edge. 2 bodies found, no one in custody. Libby German and Abby Williams, the 2 girls missing since 1 o'clock yesterday.
When I saw the headlines, I couldn't get it out of my head. The double murder of 2 teens who went out for a hike on a neighborhood trail and were found dead in the woods the next day.
It's been 2 years with basically no forward movement on the case. The entire community has been really tight-lipped, and
What was put in the papers just didn't add up, according to my understanding as a writer. Right now, there are 3 viable theories on the table. The first is that it was social media generated. They were being stalked or catfished. The second is that it's
Thank you so much, CR. I appreciate
some guy
you.
that was on the freeway that decided to get off and murder 2 girls. The third is that it's meth related. Delphi has a big meth problem, and meth is cooked in that area. So it's possible they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. My goal in going to Delphi is to debunk the theories that don't add up and get to the truth. It's not going to be fun. I'm going to knock on doors. I'm going to talk to law enforcement, but I got to do it because I need to get more information released to the public. That's what I'm going to do.
And that, just so you guys know, in the early days was a theory, obviously, because of the problems that the area has had with that kind of stuff. Not saying that it is related to that, okay? it was just a theory. Again, this is 6 years old, folks, that this case happened. This is 4 years old, this documentary on this. But I think she is, and like, she's on point, guys. She's like out there, she's being honest, and she's being raw with it. And that is what I think everybody needs to see to get the understanding of how this case rolls. Okay. So again, this is great. I love this. Welcome, Just Peachy. Good to see you.
This is sort of exactly as I expected it to be. It's an attractive town. You know, it looks very much like if I were to build a set of small town America with the train going through it and the Victorian houses and the one gas station on the side, this would be exactly it.
Welcome, Lisa and Cannoli.
I have actually designed towns like this and set stories in it. Only this time it's real. First people I want to speak with are
Salty.
Becky Patty, Liberty's grandparents. Through all the media coverage, they're the faces I've seen the most. Along with her grandparents, Libby lived here with her sister Kelsey and their father Derek. Hi.
Thank you, Eddie.
Mr.
Exactly.
Patty?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Hannah Shakespeare. Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for meeting me.
Same here, Kel.
And I followed the case for 2 years just as an individual. And I think one of the things that's really important is getting a feel for who, you know, your granddaughter was.
Libby was outgoing, flamboyant, wanted to try and do anything and everything that there was to do. She kept us busy all the time. She was very social, lots of friends.
Thank you, Peachy. Same to you.
Anything that there was going on, yep, I'm in. Let me in. I want to go. I want to do it.
Enthusiastic.
Oh, very much so. Lots of laughter in our house.
If you guys could just maybe sort of set the stage for me.
And again, this is another reason why I want you guys to see this, because it goes back to the beginning, and it tells you who these girls were, who their families are, okay? And it gives you it puts you more inside the, how can I say this? It puts you more inside the feel of the families, along with the inside of the case from the beginning, so you understand again where we're at right now and why. Okay, so look at it in that sense if you can.
So Sunday, Abby came over here. The girls spent the night upstairs. They were painting and they
Gotcha,
did the
Eddie. Thank
musically
you.
and they sang
Good
songs.
stuff.
I mean, they just the
I'll
stuff
have to
that they
check
did.
that
were
out.
just-
Being kids.
And they didn't have school on Monday, so they slept in. They didn't get up till probably 10 or so. Kelsey came down and said, I'm going to go on into work. Well, as soon as Libby heard her say, hey, I'm leaving, she jumped right up and said, hey, can she take us to the trails? And I said, you're going to have a ride home. She said, well, I'll just call Dad. So they left. They left here about 1:30. And Kelsey dropped them off. It was around 1:38. Then Derek called. It was at 3:11 to say, hey, I'm getting close. You guys head up so that I can pick you up. And she didn't answer, so he left a message. And then he got
Welcome, Annie Ruler.
Annie called again and said, hey, I'm here. Where are you? She didn't answer. And by 3:30, he calls me and said, Mom, Libby's not answering her phone. Well, you try call. By this time, it was getting close to 4 o'clock. And we knew this isn't Libby. And that phone is tied to her hip. You know, she doesn't put that phone down. So we knew right then something wasn't right.
I started walking and looking as well. And then she asked me to call the police. So by this time, friends were calling and people just started showing up, searching. There's flashlights just flashing all over Delphi. Somewhere they kind of called it and said, you know, hey, we need to reconvene in the morning. Got a few hours of sleep, then went back in the morning. And then I overheard on the radio that they potentially found the girls.
My sister come running up to me. She just kept saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then that's when we saw the coroner's van.
Welcome, Mountain Man.
There's only one reason that a coroner's van goes by. So at that point in time, without anybody telling us anything, you can put two and two together. Everything's kind of a blur at that point in time. You're just numb. You're just going through the motions. You go home.
I think of what the last half hour of those girls' lives were like. Nobody should have to go through that. And it makes me angry.
No worries, Peachy.
Abby was my only child. She was a bright student, well liked by her friends and her family. She wasn't the most outgoing kid. She was very reserved. She was not a girly girl. Messy buns. She did not go out of her way to dress up for things.
I absolutely agree on that, Dan. I've always had issues with that. You know, when I first saw this 6 years ago, I just was kind of, I wasn't doing this at that time. So, you make comments to yourselves or thoughts to yourselves, and you're like, that's just something's off with that. And then when I started looking back at the case, once I started doing this, I've been uncomfortable with it always, like why? These are two young girls. I would not have stopped at all. Granted, I understand it's dark, it's cold, whatever the weather is, these are two little girls, young girls that I would have never stopped. I'd have went nonstop throughout the night, nonstop. It just didn't make sense to me. I've always had issues with that. So yeah, I agree with you on that, Dan.
Wear a whole lot of jewelry. She wasn't like, get dolled up every day. I remember when I had to make her wear nylons for a wedding.
Can you tell me a little bit about Abby and Libby's friendship?
Abby and Libby had several things in common, having gone to school together for the last several years. They played volleyball together. They were going to play softball together, but they both played saxophone in band. So they sat next to each other during that time. They were pretty close.
Growing up
Exactly.
in an area like this, I grew up in an area like this. It's so much fun to be out.
Well, their last day.
Exactly.
That's what it was. They were outside. They were taking pictures. They were goofing off. They were outdoors. They were what you always hope to tell your kids. Put the phones and electronics down and go outside.
Investigators knew the approximate location of where Libby and Abby may have gone missing because Libby posted this photo of Abby walking the Monon High Bridge to Snapchat at 2:07 p.m.
If I had found out that they had gone out to the train bridge and that she had been on that.
Now pay attention to the times, guys, on here. As we're seeing the times, it helps you to feel out the timeline with this. And it does help, and it does make sense with this part of it, at least. Okay. That way you guys can understand that.
Bridge and walked across it, she would have been grounded the rest of her life. I don't particularly care for the idea of them having walked across the bridge. And if I'd heard about that, that would have been the one thing that she'd have been grounded.
Exactly, Sherry.
Did Abby have a phone with her?
No. Nope. We had an agreement that when she finished 8th grade that she would get one. She negotiated considerably for that.
So going back to the day when the first calls came in that they were missing, it was believable that they could have gotten lost initially?
Oh, absolutely. They were just missing. We were upset. We were bothered. It was cold. I was at the fire department waiting to chew her out as soon as they found him with her jacket because they were going to be cold. And Pastor Todd came up to me from the building. He was like, hey, has anybody talked to you? And I was like, no. He's like, I'm going to need you to come upstairs with me. And they brought me upstairs and they told me that they had found what they were pretty sure was the girls. And even then, that wasn't the hardest day of my life. You think something like that, there isn't a day that gets worse than that, but it turns out that the days after that are way worse because it's everything else that we're not ever going to get. There's not going to be a graduation.
We can find out, Ed.
Or college. Or
She'd have been a really good mom.
In the days following the discovery of Libby and Abby's bodies, police released a shocking find. Libby had captured an image and an audio recording of her would-be murderer just moments before her death. For reasons we may never know, Libby had the presence of mind to record her killer, and to this day, the evidence she provided is the best we may ever have. I need to know what happened in the woods that day.
You saw the bridge guy coming toward you. Isn't that weird?
When did the police reach out?
Never. Law enforcement never contacted me.
The small town just isn't ready for something like this.
The best we may ever have.
I want you guys to hear that again and make sure you hear that.
I need to know what happened in the woods that day.
You saw the bridge guy coming toward you. Isn't that weird?
When did the police reach out?
Right here.
Never. Law enforcement never contacted me.
The small
Exactly,
town just
ATS.
isn't ready for something like this.
Everybody takes this case personally.
It's a horrible crime, and to put yourself in the family's shoes and to put yourself in those girls' shoes to leave the world this way is unbelievable.
I hear the voices of the people affected wherever I go. It's difficult to be in Delphi and meet the families and the members of the community without feeling their grief. Their voices echo in my mind, and I wonder which small detail told to me might seem insignificant
Absolutely.
at first, but then provide the key as to who committed this heinous crime.
Right now, we're going to see the one witness who saw Bridge Guy and is actually willing to speak to me on camera. It's a 18-year-old girl from Delphi.
And her eyewitness account helps law enforcement come up with the composite sketch they released to the public.
We believe this person is our suspect.
Hey, KT.
This teenage girl hasn't spoken to anybody about this case, not the media, not even anybody in the community. And I completely understand why. I mean, let's remind ourselves the killer is still at large. I'm very nervous this witness may not even show up. I mean, all I can do is hope. I don't see her. This girl is the only one that can place Bridge Guy on the location at a specific time and thereby set the entire crime flow to the murders. That's her. It's nice to meet you. Can you walk me through the morning, the day, you guys went out there? So you're hanging out down there, and then you were walking away from Monon High Bridge, and you saw the guy that we now know to be Bridge Guy coming toward you. Yeah.
Follow the subtitles, folks, because of the redaction on there as far as the audio and okay. For obvious reasons. Evie Marie, welcome.
A thing over his face? Isn't that weird? As a writer, timeline is always really important to me because it helps determine cause and effect of the crime.
I spoke with Libby and Abby's families to get a sense of what the girls were doing leading up to their arrival at the trail. And we know where they were at 2:07 based on Libby's Snapchat post. Jess gave me a timestamp for Bridge Guy's arrival at the trail. But there are a lot of other gaps I need to fill in.
In order to really understand the flow of the crime, I need to walk the same trail that Libby and Abby did the day they were killed. I've called my friend Mike Grasso for a professional investigator's perspective. He spent 35 years with the LAPD as a detective supervisor and worked with the U.S. Marshals on a violent criminal apprehension team. So now we can go through all the locations that we know for a fact we can pin. Here Mike, is where the girls get dropped off right here. This is Mir's property.
I believe it's 4 years old, Eddie.
And that was at 1:38 in the afternoon. So the girls came this way. They walked from here to Monon High Bridge. And then at 2:07, it looks like Liberty, from the point of view of where the shot of Abby was taken, she was almost across Monon High Bridge on the south side. So between 1:38 and 2:07, the girls walked this trail.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Now, when they got to the south side of the bridge, we don't have the timestamp on the picture of bridge guy that we have.
Right.
So the only way to deduce when he actually got to the bridge is based on the fact that we have a witness. And the witness puts him at about 2:15. He's just arriving at Freedom Bridge.
So he's got a book to get from there all the way through this trail across that bridge to meet up with them. So if it's just a product of opportunity, probably would have been caught by now.
I don't get that logic.
Well, if
because
it's
they're not so premeditated, or they're...
Exactly. If there's no pre-planning, he would have made such a series of mistakes that would have led the police into a certain direction.
Okay, that makes sense to me. If Bridge Guy was out for a random kill that day, he had the opportunity when he passed her friends. They were almost the same age as Abby and Libby. So Mike and I are on the same page. This was not a crime of opportunity. It was premeditated. If this crime was targeted, then I think we have to think about somebody knew when they would be here.
That's all social media. Everyone has the ability to see where you are.
And there's the bridge. Oh, Christ. All right. I'm getting to a place now where I can see the river below. It's like 40 feet. I'm going to go to a platform for a second. Oh, God. I mean, just logic would suggest you've got to go with determination and consistently to get across it. So putting your hands in your pocket and seeming to have no concern for whether he's seen, that means that this guy had an arrogance to him. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to go here and rest. Oh my God. Oh my God. I need to get myself together. This is nerve-wracking. I'm not sure I can get back. I'm sort of halfway stuck. This is a long way from a writer's room in downtown Los Angeles. So this is south side of the bridge. I want to recreate where Libby was when she took the photo or photos of Bridge Guy.
All right, so you need me to walk out.
So if Libby's standing here, there, stop. So I'm going to time you now. Guess how long that took for you to get here?
2 minutes?
38 seconds. That's a long time. If I'm scared and I'm standing here.
If I'm scared. Maybe the girls were not in that much fear.
Mike's a wonderful balance for me because he's constantly reminding me to not go on assumptions, which I like to do as a writer. He's telling me facts, facts, facts. Maybe Mike's right. Maybe Libby wasn't afraid. Maybe she was just taking a video and he happened to walk into the frame, or maybe they were meeting somebody there.
All we know is that at some point after that image was captured, Bridge Guy reached the girls, presumably in this very spot.
So there's a path right here. He says, go down the hill. They went down the hill right here.
You ready to go down?
Let's go down the hill.
Go ahead.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, that's not easy. This, to me, is opportunity to run. So he had a gun. I mean, he had something.
We don't know. There's this road that goes right underneath the bridge.
That area is where the bodies were found. How did they get us on the other side?
So well, I think what we need to do now
go over there.
is go over there.
I want to go to where they found the bodies.
It's
right
over here,
right there.
So this is where the girls were discovered.
This is truly sacred land. I mean, I've been following this case for 2 years and looking at aerial footage and, you know, still pictures of this area and imagining, you know, what happened. I mean, you just can't come here and think about anything else. There's such a loneliness out here. You know what I see when I look at this place? I mean, look at it. It's wide open. If I were coming here to conceal a body, this would not be the place I would choose. I mean, it's literally like the Globe Theater. This is actually the most wide open area of any of the woods surrounding here. So what I'm doing is trying to imagine the mindset of the killer. That's what I do when I write. This is my amateur sleuthing. Ready? Are you ready for it? It looks literally staged. If I'm following his logic, to me, this killer came here, dumped the bodies in an area where he wasn't particularly trying to conceal them. I think he was actually trying to present them in a certain way. But here's my question to you. How he got those bodies across the river or he got those live girls across the river, I have no explanation. How did they get over here? Tell me what you think of all this.
This is Derek.
Liberty's dad.
There's a felony for possess and/or manufacture drugs.
So we're going to go see First Sergeant Jerry Holman. I'm getting a little nervous.
So the points that we're going to cover is
Yes, I'm
are you
hungry.
devouring those?
No, go.
Okay. So while you eat those guys,
Yes.
we need to figure out, do they physically have the phone itself? That's important.
Yeah, I don't know. They've never gone on record with that. I want to talk to them about the idea of why they're not releasing more information.
Yeah, that's the most important.
All right, well, help me here and wish me the best.
I'm going to wish you the best.
In the first few days of their investigation, police released the image of Bridge Guy, the clip of audio, and the composite sketch.
Besides those 3 pieces of evidence, law enforcement has offered nothing else to the public. No cause of death, no autopsy report, no murder.
I want to believe that there probably were a handful of people that continued looking that night. I would imagine. I can't give a guarantee on that one, Eddie, but I would want to think. You know what I mean? By the way, Doodle, thank you for this awesome shirt that brands me the Meatball King. Gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. Thank you so very much for that, Doodle. I appreciate you. It's awesome. Very much awesome. I am now the Meatball King. KT says, why would the older sister Liberty drop off the very young girls in the middle of nowhere to go walk by themselves? How dangerous. You know, it's a question I've asked myself. Okay. It's a good question, KT. Life, love, and true crime. Good to see you. It's a great question, actually. But this is how I'm looking at this, KT. This situation has probably happened 1,000 times before that day with no issues, no worries. It's a small town. Everybody kind of knows each other to that extent, that whole area. It's something that's a regular thing. And they never thought that there would be any problem, probably. You know what I mean? And, you know, the older sister probably wasn't thinking there's going to be an issue, that there's any problems. Thank you, Peachy. You can thank Doodle for that one. Yes, I got it. I did. So thank you very much. I loved it. This is awesome. My SO used to play on the Mountain Trail when she was very young, quite common. Right. That's my thought. You know, these are the people. Okay, here we go. Salty says the official search called off that night. Family and friends tried to continue. That's what I thought. It wasn't really the middle of nowhere to them. That's my other thing, too. Like I said, this is a regular place to them. They all live around this. I'm sure that all of these people that grew up in this area had done this. You know, we had just for a quick example, and then I'll get back to this. When I was a kid, we had a trestle like that, a train trestle. It was all rotted out. Trains didn't use it anymore. And it would connect you to one side of the river without having to cross the bridge, the road, and all the other crap. And kids, before I realized that I was afraid of heights, we would go out and cross it and walk on it and do this and do that and all sorts of stuff. No big deal. It was part of our area. No big thing. Okay. So there's never anything to make it seem like it's going to be a sinister problem or a big deal or anything like that. Good to see you, Stevie. Thank you for jumping in, buddy. So that's my thought to that one. But I will quit rambling here and move on. But thank you guys. The questions are great. Let me see that. Oh, I don't know if you're saying. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Hey, Stevie. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us.
Weapon. That's what really struck me about this case. What is law enforcement hiding and why? The frustration that I'm reading online that is abnormal. The refusal to release more information is actually impeding the investigation because people are feeling very frustrated. So I guess I'm giving you a chance to sort of respond to that.
We have to protect the integrity of the investigation, and it's to protect the family. The family doesn't want us to release the details of this.
They don't.
No, absolutely not. Would you?
Well, I think at this point, after 2 years, where there's been no movement on the case, if I were a family member, I would ask law enforcement to release more information because
and they have, but
and what specifically?
Well, they could ask us to release more of the audio or the video. But we're not.
They have that.
Yeah, they've asked. But there's some details in there that I don't think that if I was a family member, I would want the public to know.
You don't think cause of death or mode of death would help narrow the playing field?
No, I don't. Not at this point.
Did you find a lot of evidence on the location where the bodies were found?
Can't really talk about what we found, what we didn't find.
Do you have the phone?
Yes.
You do. It was recovered. Wow. So are you able to investigate all of the people on her social media sites?
Yes. We have knowledge of who she was communicating with. We feel like that photo, that voice is enough for the public to help us identify the person. That's all we want.
But the public hasn't helped you, and it's been 2 years.
Sorry about the echo.
That's all we can release at this point.
Clearly, law enforcement is not going to release any information, but I can't get this thought out of my head. That crime was targeted. Somebody knew they were going to go to the bridge and when they were going to be there. But how? Social media is a possibility. I want to talk to somebody who may know more about who Libby was engaging with online. When was the last time you communicated with Libby?
February 13th, 2017.
The day before she died.
Yes. We were just on the phone all night.
Was she like looking for boyfriends on social media?
Libby was very active on social media platforms. Like, she talked to a lot of people.
Did they talk to strangers online?
They might have been.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the case, but there was a instance on Facebook where like I was busy playing video games and she was trying to get my help. Like, she was like blowing up my phone and I was ignoring her for a little bit because I was playing video games, and she's like, I need your help. I need your help. There's this guy that won't leave me alone. So like I wasn't really responding that fast. And then the last thing she said was like, never mind, I got it.
She said, I got it.
Yeah. I kind of left it alone after she said she got it because I didn't really think anything deeper of it.
Do you know how old the guy was?
She believed that he was 19.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be any.
Yeah, it could be some older guy in a 19-year-old disguise.
How long before she died was that?
That was back in January, I want to say.
So only
great to see you here live.
January.
I mean, don't you think that's relevant?
Yeah.
Did you bring that to the cops?
Yes, I did.
You did, and they did what about it?
They took pictures of it. I hadn't heard anything after that.
Okay. So, both of the girls were on social media. That's not unheard of. I mean,
thank you, Brandy.
Seems to have been on several different platforms. She didn't have any kind of privacy settings or anything like that on it. I mean, you can see it here. Look at how she describes herself. And
Liberty German, single Pringle. I'm 12 years young.
She was on Musical.ly at the time, right? This is her bio. Check it out. It says, patiently waiting for Peter Pan to come take me away to Neverland. This is actually one of the posts that she did with Abby. This is close to the time before the girls went missing, right? So I looked at the comments of the people that were corresponding with her, and see there's this one here that says hi, and then Libby says, who are you, right? Well, he never answers. So I looked into who it is, and it turns out that he is 48 years old. He lives here in Delphi, and he's a felon. So I actually checked it out, and he doesn't fit any of the physical markers of Bridge Guy, because they're saying Bridge Guy is between, I think, 5'5" and 5'9" or something, and this guy's quite tall, but that's not the point. The point is that she was very exposed.
What about the families?
The other day I met with the Patties. So Liberty was living in the house with her grandmother and her grandfather. Her father also lives in the house, Derek German. Derek German has not gone on camera. He has not responded to, any requests to make a statement about what's happened to his daughter. I don't know much about it, but tell me what you think of all this.
This is Derek.
Liberty's dad.
There's a felony, misdemeanor and another felony, and they all look like possess and or manufacture drugs.
Meth. You get the picture that this was around Libby in that house.
All that says to me is there's drugs and these girls were murdered. They're not necessarily attached.
All I'm saying is her dad was involved in some scary stuff, and maybe she got caught in the middle of it somehow.
You've never seen any of the official reports? Nothing. I've never seen a death certificate. I've never seen a police report. I've never seen anything.
A lot of people online and also in the community are suspicious of Libby's family. And I think that stems from the fact that Becky and Mike Patty are always front and center in the media. Derek German, Liberty's father, has never spoken to the media, and her mom, Carrie Timmons, has been strangely quiet as well. I need to find out why.
You grew up in Delphi?
I grew up in Royal Center, about a half hour, 45 minutes away.
And then when you and Derek got married, you came to Delphi?
I met Derek when I was 19 and kind of migrated towards Delphi. It's a quiet, cute little town, but there's not much to do here, so it's easy to get in trouble, which is kind of why I left.
Yeah.
I think Derek and I got together pretty young, and I had babies pretty quick. Like, I was at home with the kids and he was out partying. Derek and I both had some issues, like he continued partying, I started drinking. I turned to alcohol when we split up, and I don't know, I got into some trouble. He got into some trouble. And Becky ended up taking guardianship of the girls because we were both in jail. And I was very grateful for her to do that at the time. They needed someone to step up, and Derek and I clearly could not get our crap together. And we were having a rough time, and Mike and Becky were there, and they gave the kids everything they needed. So very blessed for that. When I was able, I moved to central Kentucky. Even though we were 256 miles away, I tried to keep as much of an open relationship with my girls as I possibly could. I would talk to them as often as possible.
Right.
Sent both the girls Snapchats every morning. We talked every day. We were very, very, very close. Derek and Libby, they were really, really close too. Very, very close. So she was very much a daddy's girl.
Would Derek ever speak to us?
I don't think so. Not because he is hiding anything, but because he just doesn't like this public. He doesn't do interviews.
Derek kind of remains an enigma, and I know he's private. I get all that.
Thanks,
But
KT.
he does have a meth record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there anything that suggests that this could be connected to meth activity?
I've not seen anything that shows that. If there were people really out there cooking meth that day, or really out there messed up and saw two kids, and maybe, I don't think that had anything to do with him.
Then when did the police reach out?
Never. Law enforcement never contacted me. I spoke to Tobe Lesenby twice, but that was because I finally reached out to him. In regards to, my grandfather had called me one day at work, a few days after her funeral and said something about there was going to be a family press conference, and he wanted to know if I needed a place to stay. And I was like, what are you talking about, Grandpa? I don't know anything about a press conference. And he said, well, we just saw it on the news. There's going to be a family press conference. So I called Tobe Lesenby. He acted like he didn't even know who I was.
Oh, Carrie.
Yeah, it took quite a refresher for me to be like, I'm Carrie Timmons, Liberty German's mother. And oh, yeah. And he basically told me that they were having this press conference and that Mike had been basically chosen as the family spokesperson, and that if I wanted to show up, I could, but I would just be standing in the background. And he had told me, you know, that they were making a public cry to have someone turn this killer in. And I said to him, wouldn't it sound better to come from her mother? And Tobe said, well, you might be right, but that's not how we're going to do it.
And you know what, you guys? There's a lot of these little things like this that are involved in this case that bug me. They have bugged me from the beginning of this case. If you look at it and you think about it, right, Dan? Exactly. Exactly. If you pick up on all these little things that going back to the beginning, you know, just think about them. Think about them. Lock them in and hold on to them as we go through this and as we come up to the point where we're at with the case now today. You know what I mean? Just hold on to these little things that you're hearing and the timelines and all these things, guys. Take notes if you choose to. It'll help. It does. But just hold on to these things because I'm telling you, you're right. Don't get me started with Toby either. I'm just saying, you know, it's anyway.
Okay. Like I had really been put in my place. And I did not attend that press conference.
And you've never seen any of the official reports?
Nothing. I've never seen a death certificate. I've never seen a police report. I've never seen anything. To this day, almost 2 years later, I do not know the actual cause of my daughter's death, other than she was murdered.
You see what I'm saying? These things should never have happened like this. Never. These are the parents. Welcome, Vicky. They should be the first to know any of this stuff next to law enforcement, and they don't. Why? What is that? You are absolutely right. Both of you guys are complete joke. Total and complete joke. Facts. You guys are both right. It's sad. And I can agree with that too, Dan. Coward too. I agree with you. Welcome, Ms. Smith. Thank you for joining us. This was put out 4 years ago. While I understand Libby's grandparents' position, her mom shouldn't be left out. Facts. Facts. She's still a parent. In any case, in any situation, she is the parent. Why are you left out? There's no excuse. I don't care what the answer is. I'm sorry. Bullshit.
I find that shocking.
I felt more like they were ignoring the fact that there was a whole plethora of possibilities that they weren't even acknowledging existed because they were acting like I didn't exist. Maybe I don't know anything. Maybe I don't have any shred of evidence to help you. But the fact that you haven't even questioned me is absurd.
They never questioned her mother. Don't you find that odd? I find that quite odd. I'm sorry. These are the little things I'm talking about, guys. Hang on to them, please. Please do. Exactly, Eddie. See? Why the first people in a situation like this, from my experience, from what I've seen, and from what I believe, should be the parents. And in the situation, the way it is with the grandmother and this and that, would be to go to the parents. Nope, nothing. Sorry. Good to see you, MK. That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it in that sense. I'm not going there, but I'm just saying.
I gave him a list of probably a handful of names and phone numbers, people around here that I thought maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're kind of sketchy.
It's a big question, like
reason that, yeah, you should talk to these people. To this day, 2 years later, those people have never been contacted.
Make sure you heard that, you guys, clearly.
2 years later, those people have never been contacted.
One more time. One more time. Keep that one locked in too.
Maybe I don't know anything. Maybe I don't have any shred of evidence to help you. But the fact that you haven't even questioned me is absurd. I gave him a list of probably a handful of names and phone numbers, people around here that I thought maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're kind of sketchy, this, that, or the other. I have reason that, yeah, you should talk to these people. To this day, 2 years later, those people have never been contacted.
That was 2 years into the investigation. The list that the mother to one of the victims gave Ellie and said, hey, maybe, possibly, anything can help, right? This is 2 years after into the investigation. They were never contacted. You tell me that that's okay? No, it's not. Not at all. Not even close. Welcome, Jesse Lynn. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. This is sad, folks. This is just another part of this that it's sad.
I really feel for Carrie, and I believe her. If she's not suspicious of Derek, then my suspicions have definitely been reduced. However, based on what she just told me, I have great misgivings about the way law enforcement has handled this case. It sounds like they made some huge assumptions at a time when they should be looking at every little detail, and it makes me question their entire investigation.
Did they make assumptions? Or did they already know? And again, once again, I need to reiterate something in this case, folks. I don't like to compare cases. A lot of people do this, okay? There's no rabbit hole here. There's no conspiracy here. This all happened and is still happening to this day the way it's happening in our faces. For real, folks. It's not a speculation. It's not an act. It's not what somebody allegedly thinks. This shit happened, and this stuff is still happening that we see. It's real. Thank you, Vicky. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dog. So just so you know, and it's wonderful to see you, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. Again, Salty says Ellie blew her off like she was nothing. Truth. They only kept in contact with Libby's grandparents. Why didn't they contact the people that she pointed out? And they were not looking at Richard Allen. Thank you for saying that, Salty. He wasn't even in the picture at that point. What about this other list of people, this handful of people that her mother said that she gave them? Why wouldn't they look at them? Just saying. What's up, Tech Death? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Again, guys, hold on to these things. Seriously.
Going to see the local sheriff, and you're pretty worked up about that.
Not worked up. This is calm and collected.
Okay.
I'm bothered by the way or lack of way that he handled Liberty's mom, Carrie. And that's appalling to me.
Good to hear, Tech Death. Hope things are getting better for you, bro. What's the matter, Molly? You said WTF. Is it because of this or something else? Just real quick. If it's about this, that's cool. If it's something else, just let me know in the background.
Lesenby has shut Carrie entirely out of this.
Before you go anywhere,
Yes.
No problem, bro.
take that deep breath.
Don't lose it.
Don't lose it.
Hey, Mandy, good to
If
see
you
you.
want to lose it, that's fine, but lose it after you get all the questions answered.
Please,
I'm
guys.
honestly.
No arguing or anything in the chat. Let's focus on this. It's important. if there's any other issue, I can't see what's going on in the chat. Well, what's the matter? Let's keep the drama out. Let's get through this first, folks. We'll talk about anything after this, okay? Please, let's move through this. Let's deal with this after the fact, please.
So, do you have a person of interest in mind?
There is not a person of interest. It's just we continue to follow in whatever information is provided to us through the tip lines. To say that we have one singular individual, no. Yeah, obviously we see this face that I have on my wall here, and that's where the focus has been.
Yet the autopsy is sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Has the family learned of cause of death or mode of death?
I believe that has been shared with them.
Because I actually interviewed Carrie, Carrie Timmons, the mother of Liberty German, and she would like that. She said that she has not been informed of that.
There's some legal issues there as far as involving guardianship or custody. And so, now obviously, if other family members want to share that with her, that's their prerogative.
Yeah, I know Mike and Becky have guardianship. They do not have adoption. They have legal guardianship.
Right.
The mother of the deceased is entitled.
Okay.
So I just wanted to go over that. The other thing I wanted to say is that she informed me that when the first press conference was held, that she didn't know that there was going to be a press conference, but she would like to be notified as Liberty's mom. And your response to her was that she wasn't in Liberty's life, and so therefore Mike Patty would be the spokesman for the family. Now, Mike Patty is a step-grandfather. So did you make that statement?
I don't remember it specifically being worded that way, no. I don't think I'm not a impersonal type of individual, and so...
She certainly felt you were.
And that's, again, her opinion.
It is her opinion.
She may have perceived it that way.
Do you know if she was involved in Liberty's life?
To the best of my knowledge, no. Do you know her background?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
What does her background have to do with being a loving mother? She was...
See what I'm saying? This is a prejudgment based on... That's why I love this woman. This guy prejudged the situation based on anything that could have happened in this woman's past. Who gives a shit? She's still the mother of this child. He had no right to do that. This pisses me off to no end, guys. I'm telling you right now, I got hot the first time I saw this. I mean, really hot. So please excuse my mouth, my language, and my attitude with this. This pisses me off. This dude is a piece of shit. Okay? Completely. Look, he knows he's wrong. Look at his face. It's bullshit.
Snapchatting with Liberty hours before Liberty left for the Monon High Bridge. So she was very much involved in her daughter's life.
Good.
So the statement that she had nothing to do with her daughter and it all fell on the guardianship is just not accurate.
I guess a lot of the information that we had received was from Mike and Becky as far as that relationship, and based upon obviously legal documentation that we had seen as well.
So you took Mike and Becky at their word and did
plus
not...
the legal documentation that we had. Yes.
Okay. Well, I have to say I think that's unfortunate because it's the mother of Liberty.
Sure.
Okay. That good, huh?
Pure bullshit. Pure bullshit.
Much stranger than fiction.
Absolutely.
As a writer, you have a sense of control over the ending. You go into a
That's
story,
being nice.
you have the ability to plot it out. You can tie all the facts into a nice little neat bow, and you have a sense of resolution that gives you a chance to exhale, and you get a sense of completion and justice. But unfortunately, in this case, I can't exhale, and I don't have a sense of justice. And I can't tell you who committed this murder. In the scripted version, I would swagger into town, I'd go down every rabbit hole, I'd discover the truth, and I'd be a hero. I'd solve the crime. But this is real life. What I have been able to do is separate fact from fiction.
And I think I've put pressure on law enforcement to release more information.
I made key connections with members of the community. I'm going to continue to work those sources as I head home. They think that the media and people like me are going to back off. That's not going to happen because since I left Delphi, I found more.
This morning, new video of the man investigators believe is behind the murders of 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German.
So after I left Delphi, Indiana State Police finally decided to release a little bit more information.
We are releasing additional portions of the audio recording. We are also releasing video.
Gee, guys, isn't that interesting how she goes and she kind of, thank you, Brandy, again. I appreciate that. And I appreciate anybody that has donated to that very much. So it's interesting. She goes and she kind of brings a spotlight on to law enforcement. And then kaboom, here comes this stuff now. I don't know, guys. You tell me.
Recovered from Libby's phone. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. Watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? We also believe this person is from Delphi, and we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information leads us to believe this sketch is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls.
Exactly,
So
Salty. They got
law
nervous.
enforcement has
They got nervous.
finally released a small portion of the video and then one word on the audio. And that's in addition to a brand new composite of the alleged perpetrator. So what is it that the public is supposed to take away from this? That the old sketch was absolutely irrelevant? That it was a bad sketch? That it had nothing to do with the crime? I think that ISP and Doug Carter think that by holding a press conference like this and releasing just a little bit more information that the media and people like me are going to back off. That's not going to happen because since I left Delphi, I found more.
And that was exactly my point, Piglet. If they thought that Carrie's background was so shady per se, because the way you know her background, you know, no, nobody cares. Then they should have been there first and didn't even bother with that. Again, in my opinion, because I think they knew. I'm sorry to say it, but it's fact, folks. To me, it's fact.
I
That's my
hesitated
opinion.
as to whether I should give out this information. I've honored law enforcement up to this moment. But 2 years into this crime scene and based on that presser, I think it's time for the public to know as much information as possible about this crime. It needs to be solved. Through the connections that I made over 2 years of investigating this case, I've received an affidavit signed by law enforcement. This is totally legit. It's been vetted by several attorneys. And I'm just going to read some of the following statements. On February 14, 2017, at approximately 12:17 p.m., victims Libby German and Abigail Williams were found dead with wounds caused by a sharp weapon. Cause of death has never publicly been released. Based on the affidavit, it suggests that the girls were stabbed. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. Because of the nature of the victim's wounds, it is nearly certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten blood on her person clothing. How he got those bodies across the river or he got those live girls across the river, I have no explanation. The fact that there was a large amount of blood found on the crime scene indicates they were either killed in the river or they were killed, in fact, at that crime scene. It also appears the girls' bodies were moved and staged. He wasn't particularly trying to conceal them. It looks staged. In addition, there's no visible signs of a struggle or a fight. This, to me, is opportunity to run.
Keep that thought in your mind. The way she says it is the same way I feel too. Staged. Staged, staged, staged. Okay? I'm telling you, I can't let go of that. At this point, I really can't. Welcome, Charlotte. Good to see you, dear.
Run. So he had a gun. I mean, he had something.
We don't know.
And then also fibers and hair were found on the crime scene. So that indicates that there is evidence on that crime scene. The other thing that is very notable is that when I walked the bridge, I ascertained by the location of the video taken on Libby German's phone that from there to the south end of the bridge was approximately 40 seconds. In fact, they have 43 seconds of video on Libby's phone. Where's the 43 seconds? Why aren't they releasing what else is on that phone? Withholding information from the public when you've asked for the public's help is not acceptable to me. The affidavit confirms that law enforcement has not done an adequate job of releasing information. This information needs to get out to the public, and I'm here giving it to the public.
Abby and Libby are no longer with us, but that doesn't mean justice won't be served. I went to Delphi to get answers. Why did it take law enforcement 2 years for video and more audio to be released? Why are there witnesses, but 2 radically different sketches of Bridge Guy? By law enforcement's words, the killer is local, and hair and fiber were found on the scene. A large reward fund has been established. Why hasn't this case been solved? The answers aren't clear yet, but the story is. 2 girls went for a walk in the woods and were found brutally murdered. If we keep that story alive, the answers will come.
That's it, guys. That's the story in the beginning. There's more to this, okay? There's a lot more people involved in this in the background that we've moved through, and we're going to talk about them. Keegan Klein, all these other people that rolled into this situation, okay? There's more. There is more, okay? I'm telling you right now, but that is justly this documentary is absolutely amazing to me. I love this. I love her. The Shakespeare, the whole thing is just, it's great. And thank you again, Salty, for bringing that to me. It tells the story the way it happened. It tells the story that we're not supposed to know, the way that things went down in the beginning. Thank you, Stevie, very much, my friend. And it tells it that they don't want us to know that. They never wanted us to know how that stuff happened that way. You saw how he was when she was interviewing him. She knew who, like, how he was being. You could just feel it, you know. The first time I watched that, sitting in that, watching that interview, I wanted to jump through the screen and grab him by his throat. I'm just telling you, because he's bullshit, complete. He's an ass. So I'm just telling you, that is just the kickoff, folks. That's just the beginning. There's more to come, okay? But I wanted you guys to see this in a bad way because it really does tell a different story than what a lot of you people know or even knew at all about this, okay? None of you knew a lot of that stuff probably ever happened. And now you do know. Now you can kind of look at it a little bit different from what you were because now you have some more knowledge of it. Exactly. You and me both. Exactly. Oh, telling you that interview in itself, maybe my wife, I was in here MF in my computer. My wife was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Why are you talking? Who are you talking to?" I was like, "Myself." She come in and watched and she was like, "Oh, okay. Where's he at? Let's go." You know what I mean? She didn't like it either. Definitely a strange town in some senses. But it's still, it's not the town. It's not all the town. It's people. Okay. Understand that. So again, Salty, thank you for that. That is very good. Very good. I want to show you guys a little something else here real quick. It kind of goes along with this. Okay. Hold on a minute here. 1 second, please. One second, guys. All right. Let's move this. Give me 1 moment, guys. All right, this is something else I wanted to show you guys too. It gives you, it's really good footage. Okay, this is drone footage. They did a flyover of the Mononai Bridge Monon High Bridge. I'm sorry. That goes from the bridge itself over to the suspect's neighborhood, guys, to show you kind of that look at it. Okay. And again, I wanted this to be seen so you guys can understand this scenario as well. One moment here. All right, here we go. And it's going to show you the bridge, how we're facing southwest, looking at this direction, and it'll give you a really good, this is great footage, by the way, a really good look at the situation, and remember the timeline and stuff like that with it, so it'll help with that sense. Yeah, I watched this last night. It's actually really good footage, Salty. Really good. And here's the thing, Bombshell, and all you guys got to remember something. Before this happened, nobody thought about this happening, this kind of thing. Nobody was worried about this kind of thing. Everybody was very comfortable in this area. This is their home. They were comfortable here. They were happy here. They never worried about things like this, you know. And it does happen that way. People are too comfortable sometimes in their area, and they don't think about these things until after something bad happens. So remember that. Remember that. 4 pit bulls across America. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Gotcha. Year after I graduated. Cool. And see, that shows, sorry about an echo, guys. If there was it, good pint. It's a good pint. Good point. That's right, Stevie. It is. It's a good point, Ashley. Absolutely. They're showing here Richard Allen's front yard. Okay. Over here is what they're talking about with the trees to the left of the front of his house. And you know what? Here's the thing, Salty. This is another problem I have with this too, Salty, which is why I'm so grateful that you did share that with me. And Murky says, Salty, thank you for sharing that with that interview with Dago. I'm a local to this area, and there's so much the general public is not aware of. It has been in the forefront here since it happened. This is 6 years, folks. 6 years. They asked for the public's help with this case. Okay, and this has happened in Idaho as well. But when you ask for the public's help to help with this, you know, their cases, to help find things, to help look things out, or, you know, figure things out, or to spot something, to turn it into whatever they ask for, and then you don't give them information about anything. These people live here, don't even know half of this stuff. It's their own neighborhood. That's not good. That's bad, okay? And that tells me something else, okay? Okay, Pitbulls lives there too. You guys can see the basic distance between where Richard Allen lives, where the bridge is, and where this supposed crime scene is, allegedly. Okay, and that's why this footage is really good. I like this a lot. Welcome, Shelly. Welcome, AR. You're fine, bro.
It says that investigators received prior tips encountering a tip narrative from an officer who actually interviewed Richard Allen all the way back in 2017. Back then, and I'm going to quote here from the probable cause affidavit, it says, Mr. Allen was on the trail between 13:30 and 15:30. So that's between 1:30 and 2:30 in the afternoon. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building and walked to the New Freedom Bridge. While at the New Freedom Bridge, he saw 3 females. He noted one was smaller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember description, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anyone. Although he stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked, he stated there were vehicles parked at the High Bridge trailhead, however, did not pay attention to them. He did not take any photos or video. And we then hear later that police here in this probable cause affidavit talked to some individuals who it seems like he described here that he passed walking in the woods, and they described a person who then has the clothing that is described in the probable cause affidavit and the police have released earlier.
Right. Police talk about 3 juveniles, 3 young people that say they saw Richard Allen, or they saw a person there who then turns out to match the description of Richard Allen.
Yes.
I had this turned up all the way. You guys might have to turn it up on your end if you can't hear it. I'm sorry, felonies. My apologies. But again, pay attention. This is supposedly the escape route that Richard Allen took, leaving the situation. Pay attention to this too, folks, because this is off, in my opinion.
Walking on the trail toward Freedom Bridge. One of the girls, it says in the court documents, described to police the male as, quote, kind of creepy, and advised he was wearing blue jeans, a really light blue jacket. His hair was gray, maybe a little brown. He didn't show his face. She told police, according to court documents, that he was wearing a duck canvas type jacket, advised that she said hi to the man, but he just glared at them. He had something covering his mouth, she told investigators, and described him
Take
as
notes,
not
folks,
very
for
tall,
sure.
not bigger than 5'10", said he had his hand in his pockets. And we see here, this is the video, that was the video that we saw for years. It did show a man wearing jeans, wearing a blue jacket with hands in his pockets.
And that's fine. That doesn't mean it was Richard Allen. It doesn't mean that it wasn't Richard Allen. Okay, but this is why we're taking notes. This is why we need to know this stuff that wasn't put out, hasn't been re-put out. A lot of people didn't follow this for 6 years. I didn't. I knew about it, but I didn't follow it. I wasn't in true crime. I wasn't doing this stuff then. I've learned a lot about this over the past 2 months. More than I probably wanted to know, but I want it now, okay? Pay attention to all that. You know, the clothing, the height, the weight look, the structure of the body, all of these things, write it down or just keep it in your mind. These things are all important, guys. Very important.
Get into the part about the gun here and why police believe that there is a direct link between these murders and Richard Allen.
Yeah, this was kind of the most stunning part, I think.
So in the probable cause affidavit, it says there was a .40 caliber unspent round less than 2 feet away from victim 2's body. Between victim 1 and victim 2's bodies, the round was unspent and had extraction marks on it. So as we move a few pages further in the probable cause affidavit, they sent the ballistics off to the Indiana State Police Crime Lab. And see if I can find the section here. It says the laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet of victim 2's body had been cycled through Richard M. Allen's Sig Sauer model P226.
Now, even if, let me say this, even if this bullet came from Richard Allen's gun, it doesn't mean he did this. Okay? It doesn't mean he was the one that did this. He was there, as Salty had just said. He told him he was there. That was never denied. He never lied about it. He never tried to cover that up. He told them he was there. Okay? If this bullet was put into his gun and taken back out, he had it in his pocket. He walked this area. It fell out of his pocket, so on and so forth, whatever. Or he was the one that committed the crime, and that's why it was there. Thank you, Felonies. I appreciate it. It does not say that he did this to these girls. Not at this point. Remember, folks, and remember what we stand for here. This man is innocent until they can prove that he's guilty of this crime. And thus far, we've seen how things have gone with this. No, they're not treating him that way at all. That's the big problem. But like I said, we're backing up on this and causing, or I'm sorry, not causing, but we're looking at this so everybody can understand this wholeheartedly, the whole thing. Okay. Now back up here. I'm going to show you guys something else. That's right. It's no more. Thank you. That's a great point, because a lot of people are, comparing this to Idaho. It's no more than the Chiefs can prove anything in the Idaho case. It's the same damn thing, folks. Same thing. All right, hold on a minute. Great point, Salt. All right, here we go.
Why Libby?
One second, guys. All right, now I'm going to show you guys the absolute first press conference 6 years ago. I feel that press conferences are important. You guys may not, but I want you to pay attention. After what we've seen already, what you know today, I want you guys to see this press conference from 6 years ago, okay? 2017. This is the full press conference, and this was several departments, several officers, everybody that's involved at that point, at that time. And I want you to watch this now with me. We'll talk about it, so on and so forth. Any questions you guys have, feel free to ask me. You want me to stop and back up? Tell me to do it. I have no problems doing that. Let me know. If you have any, I'm sorry, if you have any audio issues, hearing things, Hussein, what's going on? Good to see you. Let me know that too, please. All right. And let me set up the, I can't do that. But I will do this. Let me speed this up just a bit so it won't take so long to watch it. All right. Moving, here we go. Thank you, Jesse Lynn.
Okay, good morning. On behalf of Sheriff Toad Lisby of the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, who's the lead agency in this investigation, Delphi Mayor Shane Evans, I would like to welcome you to Delphi, Indiana, and Carroll County. If you would allow me a little bit of latitude here before we get into the meat and potatoes of the press conference to give a couple of thank yous, I would like to do that now. We volunteer because we care. Again, we volunteer because we care. I saw that on a fire truck here in Delphi, Indiana yesterday. And I believe it's a way of life here in Delphi in the Carroll County community, because the way this community has wrapped their arms around this investigation and provided not just resources for officers as they're investigating this case, but also their willingness to give us information and anything that we have asked, including this church today for the press conference that Pastor Todd has given us And of course, we want to thank the Delphi United Methodist Church for this facility today. Again, I would like to thank everyone who's given donations and any general support to this investigation. I would also like to thank in advance the person who's going to call our tip line and give us that tidbit of information that's going to lead to the arrest of the murderers of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. And I would like to thank the media for their patience. I understand there's information that you would like to get to your subscribers, get out into the media. But as you know, we have information that is germane to our investigation that we have to keep close to the vest, because this investigation is too important to make any mistakes and give out the wrong information. So again, I thank you for your support and your patience as we go through this case. There are a couple of acknowledgments I must introduce today, a couple of folks, department heads that are here. We have Delphi Mayor Shane Evans, Carroll County Prosecutor Rob Ives, Carroll County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby, Delphi Police Chief Steve Mullen, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter, FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Greg Massa, and Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police. Obviously, the reason we are here today is to give out information in the double homicide of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. On February 13th, Abigail Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, went on a hike at the Delphi Historic Trails. On February 13th, they were reported missing later in the afternoon when they failed to return to a pickup location as a family member returned to pick them up from their hike. After organized searches on February 14th, one of those search parties unfortunately found the bodies of the two teens. Evidence in this case has led investigators to believe this is a double homicide, and that's what we're investigating at this time. Also shown in front of me is an enlarged depiction of a person believed to be the suspect in this case. We are actively looking for this person. We believe this person is our suspect.
Now, I don't know if you caught in the very beginning when he said they're looking for the murderers of these two girls. It was plural, not singular. And I'm not trying to nitpick every little thing that's said, but he said that. So just keep that as a little note to yourself, okay?
And we would like any information, regardless of how small or minute you might believe that information to be. It might be the one piece of a very large puzzle that helps us get this person in custody. So please call our tip line, 844-459-5786. And again, I would like, as we go through this press conference, to remind the media there's going to be information that is germane to our investigation that we're not going to release today. But at the end of the press conference, we will have time for questions and answers. So as we go through our speakers, I ask you to please hold your questions to the end of the press conference. So at this time, I would like to invite Indiana State Police Superintendent Douglas Carter to the podium.
Sorry, guys. Lynn says you have to understand how an investigation works. They look at the family first, last people they talk to, witnesses, etc. Yeah, of course. We know that, and at least I know that, I'm sure. But again, as we watched in that video, why didn't they speak to the mother? Okay. And that's true, too, that the family didn't have much more than the public. I understand completely, Lynn. I do. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. But I'm just saying, there's little, I'm not trying to pull apart or pick apart what they're saying. I'm just saying to hold on to different things, to hear what they're saying, just in case. That's the thing, though, that they didn't look at the family first. They didn't even talk to her mother at that point. According to the mother, she said they didn't interview her. They didn't question her. They did nothing. So I'm just saying.
Words tend to escape during these periods of times, and I've only had a couple of other situations in my lifetime where I'm able to stand before you and say that. Why Libby? Why Abby? Why Delphi? Why Carroll County? Why the region? Why the state? Why even in the nation? I say that because this is a classic example and a clear example that evil lives amongst us.
Exactly. And thank you, Salty.
To the
What you
families,
said,
communities,
facts.
region, state. As a leader of the Indiana State Police, I say I am so very sorry. Resources. It's unlikely that any of you will ever see, nor will we ever see or experience again, the level of resources that are attached to this investigation. To the media, my gosh, all I can say is just give you my sincere thanks. See, this isn't like TV. There's a perception that this can be solved very quickly. Anything that we do can be solved very quickly, but this is a testament that it can't, and we need you. We needed you since last week. We need you today, and we need you tomorrow. And likely we'll need the media all across this nation. So from a simple guy like me to you, I say thank you. To the people dressed funny like me and those that represent the law enforcement profession, please understand we're human beings just like you. I stand anywhere in the nation with people standing behind me. And I would suggest to you that every time something like this happens, a little piece of us dies as well. But I also want you to understand how committed we are as a collective one, and we will continue. This has been briefed all the way up to the director of the FBI, Director Comey, and Greg Mass is going to talk a little bit about that. I've had an opportunity to speak to my boss, Governor Eric Holcomb, a couple different times about the situation. And every time I do, I see this look that comes over his face, just like yours in this community's. And that's the unfortunate experience of experiencing evil. We're not stopping. The poster in front of you. Someone knows who this individual is. Someone knows who this individual is. Is it a family member? Is it a neighbor? Is it an acquaintance? Is it an associate? Or maybe that one guy that lives over at that one place that just...
Oh, we're definitely going to get there, Eagle. Don't worry. We're going to cover it all.
Maybe it's his jeans. Maybe it's his jacket or his sweatshirt. Maybe it's his shirt tail. Maybe it's his posture. Maybe it's the right hand in his pocket. You see, even with technology, we need human intelligence. In other words, we need you. I'm not suggesting that everything that we can do as science has been done, because we are just getting started. Abby and Libby deserve us. They deserve every single one of us, and not just the people standing up here on the stage that have given so much of their lives to not just this, but to this profession, but each and every one of you. Each and every person listening, watching, or seeing this in some form, we need you. Libby and Abby need you. Please do not rationalize tips away. Rationalize what you think that might not be important away.
That's an interesting point, Duncan.
Or think what I know doesn't matter. Let folks like the people that are standing behind me with such incredible passion and commitment and dedication to this profession make that determination. Tips are anonymous. Some might not want to talk about it because they don't want to get involved, because they know the individual. Again, he may be a family member, probably has a family. No one will ever know. No one will ever know. There's not an agency on the planet better than helping us facilitate this than the FBI. And they're as entrenched in this as anybody. No one will know. As poor as this picture is, somebody knows. And if you're watching, we'll find you. Who's next? I hate to ask you that question. I'd give my life to not have to. But I know you've asked yourself that very question. We must recognize it. You see, we're all the same. We're all human beings. We must keep our resolve for Libby and Abby, for this community, and frankly, to ensure that good trumps evil. And it will. You're going to hear more in just a minute about what we know. Do not discount the voice that you'll hear. We will stay committed with resolve, very rarely exhibited with human behavior until this conclusion. Please be patient. Become our partners and communicate with us as often as you can.
Thank you, Brandy.
And now from a very humble servant, that's the most blessed guy on this planet to represent the profession that I represent, to Abby and Libby. It's my hope and my prayer that you're now experiencing God's promise of eternal peace.
At this time, I would like to invite Greg Massa, Assistant Special Agent in charge for the FBI, to the podium.
Good morning. As the Assistant Special Agent in charge, my role is to supervise and lead the FBI's criminal investigations across the state of Indiana. 9 days ago, we had an agent that was participating in the search for the missing victims. And from that moment until this morning, we have stood shoulder to shoulder with our law enforcement partners here. The FBI plays an important support role in this investigation, this joint investigation. I'm very humbled by the response that the resources that are under my direction have brought, and hopefully the contributions that we are making. On any given day, we have 20 FBI agents that are here providing investigative help, whether that's running down leads, conducting interviews, helping with lead tracking system, providing intelligence analysis support, providing technical assistance. Every night, I update our FBI headquarters to our Deputy Assistant Director. And as the Superintendent mentioned, this has been briefed to the FBI Director on 2 occasions. So whatever resource that the FBI has available, whether it's here in the state of Indiana or nationally, we have brought those resources and we will continue to do so. We were committed to working around the clock, as we have been over the last 9 days, and we'll continue to do so until this case is solved. To the members of the community, when I met with our behavioral analysis unit and their expertise and their experience, it is oftentimes even unwitting that a member of the community may have information that is germane to this investigation. And I'd like the community to go back 9 days and go back to the afternoon of February 13th, Monday, February 13th, and just think if you had an interaction with an individual who inexplicably canceled an appointment that you had together, or an individual called into work sick and canceled absolutely social engagement. And at the time gave what would have been a plausible explanation.
We need to try to make that happen.
Or I had a flat tire on my car. But in retrospect, that excuse no longer holds water. That may be important. Likely so, our behavioral indicators
with transparency
that this individual may have exhibited since the afternoon of May 13th. Did this individual travel unexpectedly? Did they change their appearance? Did they shave their beard, cut their hair, change the color of their hair? The superintendent mentioned the clothes that this individual was wearing in the photo. Did they change the way they dress? Did their behavior change? Did their sleep pattern is different now? Did they start abusing drugs or alcohol whereas they would not have? Have they been anxious, nervous, irritable? Have they followed this case and what the media is putting out with a sense that is not normal? Have they had ongoing discussions regarding their whereabouts on that afternoon or thereafter? Please, if you have that information, call that into the tip line. After this press conference, the FBI will be putting out a series of these indicators on our social media, so it'll be available not only to the citizens of this community, but across the state of Indiana and then nationally as well. We'll also be utilizing digital billboards, and in any way we can spread this message, we will. I'll just finalize my remarks just to say that to my law enforcement partners behind me, to the community at large, 9 days ago, the FBI stood shoulder to shoulder with you. We're not going anywhere. We will be here until this case is solved, and I am confident this case will be solved.
February 23rd, Eddie.
At this time, I would like to invite Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police, to the podium.
Thank you, Tony. We do have some new information for you today. It's in the form of an audio file from the cell phone that Liberty German had with her at the time. We're not going to play everything that we have, but Liberty had the presence of mind to turn on her video camera. Again, we're not going to be able to share everything with you, but we are going to share this audio clip with you momentarily with the hope that somebody will recognize this voice. And I want to be very clear that what you're about to hear is just 4 short words. excuse me, 3 words, down the hill. You're going to hear this played 4 times. The audio quality is not superb, but there's enough there that somebody could recognize this person's voice. And as Superintendent Carter said, not to rationalize away. If you hear this today and you think, my God, that sounds like fill in the blank, call us, make an anonymous tip. Tell us who you think it is. Let us investigate it.
Okay, for this, I'm going to slow it back down to normal speed so you guys can hear it clearly.
If it's not the right person, they'll just be out a little bit of time and they'll be cleared and they can go on and they'll never know that you called. But you may tell us who the right person was. And you could be the person that helps us to solve this horrible crime. Micah, play the clip, please. Would you play it one more time? So that audio clip later today will be available on the Indiana State Police website. You can simply go to our website and add the extension /Delphi.htm. There will be information on that website that talks about the reward that is being collected now. Sergeant Slocum will talk more about that, the amount of money that's been raised towards solving this case. And really, money shouldn't be what drives somebody to help solve this. Just a sense of community and wanting to help and to get this person off the street. The image that you see there of the suspect, that came from Liberty's phone. I think many of you had speculated that before. We weren't prepared to discuss that at the time. We have more video. We're not releasing it. It's germane to our investigation. And it's important that we spread that person's voice far and wide for somebody that will recognize who that is and will call us and tell us. I also want to tell you that there will be a tip line. There's an email tip line. I'll spell it out for you, and it'll be on the website later, but if you want to copy this down, tips can be emailed to CACOSHRF.com. So that is Abby and Libby tip at CACOSHRF.com. Phone number, email, call the Delphi Police, call the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, call the state police. Help us to capture the person responsible for these murders.
As I started out, we volunteer because we care. I believe that's a way of life here in Carroll County and the Delphi area. As Captain Bursa indicated, we now have monies for a reward. I believe we're in upwards to around $41,000, with $25,000 being donated by the FBI, $10,000 by the Indiana Packers, a local business. The Andersons have donated $5,000. Indiana Lafayette
Lynn says that they have a scientific element and human element that ties to Richard Allen. Listen, I want you guys to understand something. I'm not saying that Richard Allen is not responsible for this. I'm not saying, in fact, we are not saying that Richard Allen is not involved in this, nor responsible for this. Okay? This very possibly could have been 2-3 people. You know, the police had even said that, yeah, like Salty is saying right here, that 2 people, because law enforcement even thought that as well. Okay? Also, this was before they added guys down the hill. Thank you, Salty. That's true. But here's the thing. Everybody, and don't forget this, guys, because we got wrapped up in stuff like this in Idaho. I don't want people fighting over this. I don't want people getting angry with each other. People are going to disagree about things with this case, just like they do with any other case. That's okay. Everybody has the right to their opinion, their feelings, and their thoughts on this. Fact. Okay? Fact. Period. I'm not saying that Richard Allen is not involved in this. I'm not saying that he's not responsible for this. I'm saying there's a lot of things in this case that do not come out the way they're supposed to, that have not come out the way they should have. And at this point where we're at in the case today, the way things have happened are wrong. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And that's why I'm trying to show people that this part of this here is to catch everybody up with this case that doesn't know a lot about it, so that you can understand why we're talking about the stuff we are today, per se. Okay? So I don't want people getting upset with each other, or fighting over this, so on and so forth. Okay? It was said by Carter. You have proof of what, Lynn? What are you talking about? Let me back up and see if I missed something here. The scientific element and human element, is that what you said you have proof of? Okay. Yes, exactly, Ashley. Everybody has the right to their own opinions, thoughts, and theories on this. There are going to be people that think that Richard Allen is the absolute only person and was 1,000,000% guilty on this. And there's people that are going to think that he's not. It's okay to agree to disagree. Before we go any further with this, you got to understand that. They never would have arrested Richard Allen if he didn't have evidence against him. Well, the man said he was there. Okay. We know that. He never denied that. So there's something that they have, yes, that brought them to the point to arrest him. I understand. But again, we're not even looking at that at this point. But we're looking at how things rolled from the beginning to this point of the case. That's all, to catch everybody up. We will get to that, though. I promise you, there's so much more that we had to bring you. And that's fact. And we will get to all of it, you guys. All of it. I promise. And again, if there's questions, please feel free to ask them. We will answer them the very best we possibly can if we already haven't. Okay? Again, thank you guys. And I appreciate everybody's patience and interest and everybody's, helping with this. You guys are amazing.
Savings and Loans has donated 1,000. They do that because they care.
Very good point. Thank you, Ashley.
We need to solve this case. We have every resource that we can think of to prompt people to give us information. We need to get the murderer of Liberty German and Abigail Williams into custody sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Brandon.
That will be the end of our press conference. As far as speakers at this time, we will entertain questions.
Is there any specific information that says the person is local or from far away? No. Could this be a stranger crime? That's a possibility. Could this be somebody that knew that the girls were going to be there at that time? That's a possibility. Nothing is off the table.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The only thing I would add is where the FBI can come involved, and if it does lead interstate or multi-jurisdictionally, we have that capability to stretch it further outside of this immediate community across the state or across state lines.
Let's go one at a time. I'll let you do your follow-up, then I'll come to you. What's your follow? Go ahead and do your follow-up.
How long after Liberty posted to social media did this crime happen? Did the murders happen immediately after, or was there time for someone to see them on social media? media and then meet them on that trail?
As a special, we know that there are going to be lots of questions that we specifically cannot answer because there are things that we do not want to tip our hand to the person that's responsible for this. That kind of information we're keeping close to ourselves. Is it reasonable to think that that's an area? One of two things happen. That was a chance encounter. That's possible. Don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Or that person knew that they were going to be there. That's possible as well. Those are things that we're looking into. Question over here. Similar to what I just said, there's specific pieces of information that we're not discussing. The best example that I can give you is if somebody is a victim of a burglary and then they're murdered, everybody wants to know how they were murdered. If we go into the details and we say they were stabbed twice in the back and they were shot in the head, then everybody hears that. And then we get tips, people tell us that, and the tip is useless. We're keeping information that will only be known by the person or by who that person told. And when that's shared with us, it will set off the alarm bells and we'll know.
Thank you, Lynn.
Greg, I'll let Agent Massa address that.
There has been no indication right now that this is a part of a serial murder, if that's what your question is. So as of the facts that we have collected at this point in time, we have not tied it to any other known homicides.
We have other information that we're not sharing, and specific to your question, Raphael, keep in mind that there the likeliness, the possibility of more than one person. We're not saying that the voice that you heard is the same as this person here. This is all
absolute fact. Thank you, Lynn.
Very involved, and as much as we would like to tell you everything, more importantly, we want to solve the crime. That could be or could not be. The audio is also from Liberty's phone. So again,
that is true. I remember that, SRB.
To have the phone on and to capture video as well as audio. No, I can't. That is a loop that we played 4 times for purposes for you to hear it. No, there's nothing I can speak to about the scene investigation and collection of evidence. Yes, and thank you for asking that, Paris. To clarify, the image that you're looking at here came from Liberty's phone. There's nothing that we are prepared to release at this time.
Exactly.
No,
Thank you, Salty.
Because we weren't there. We know that voice was captured from her cell phone. We know this image was captured from her cell phone. Keep in mind, all of you are in the television business. What do you see out of the TV? You see this. You don't see what's over here. You don't see what's over here. So there's lots more that we're looking at.
As I indicated before, the reason we believe this is suspect is based on the totality of the evidence that we've gathered thus far. That has led us to believe this is the person that at least participated in the murders of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. Now, we're not going to release that part of the information, but it did come from her phone, which entails that even though we enhanced it, it's the best we have. That's the image we're given. And just because you and I do not recognize that photo, there, as indicated earlier, a person that works with what appears to be a male white in that photo might recognize him. Again, a family member might recognize that. Unfortunately, it's the best we have, and that's what we're going to go with at this time. If we decide to go other routes later, we'll let you know.
Seemed suspicious or was creeping her out in some way? And if so, what's your reaction to a 14-year-old having the presence of mind to do that?
This young lady's a hero. There's no doubt. To have enough presence of mind to activate the video system on her cell phone to record what we believe is criminal behavior that is about to occur. As far as the first part of your question, that's something we're going to keep close to the vest as part of our investigation. But there's no doubt in our minds that that young lady is a hero. Well, unfortunately, when you're in the law enforcement,
No, you should be okay, Will.
that occur in this nature. As far as the time frame and different things, in my experience, are unique to my career. But there are a lot of smart people standing behind me that will probably have a different answer. But again, rest assured, we're using our resources to put the person and or persons that murdered Liberty German and Abigail Williams into our jail here in Carroll County.
The only thing that I want to add to that is all of you have more questions than we can answer here today without compromising the case. I think we all can agree there's one thing we want to do. We want to capture the person or persons responsible for this crime. We wanted to get this video, to get the audio clip out to you. We wanted to confirm to you where that image came from. We've accomplished those two things here today. We encourage you to play that audio to your audiences frequently over the days to come so that we can develop a tip to that tip line or to the email address that I gave you or to the website information that will be on the State Police website at 10:45. At this time, we're going to conclude the news conference. Thank you all very much for coming here today and to helping to spread the word. Thank you.
Okay, guys, give me one moment here. I got to step away for just 1 second. I'll be right back with you guys. Thank you very much. Be right back. All right. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So there is the original presser on this, guys. And like I said, thank you for that, Murky, again, and Brandy. Thank you once again, my dear. Appreciate you. Now, there's a lot to this, folks. A whole lot still. So, and there'll be plenty more we're bringing. I'm going to show you something here. One moment here. Let me see something. By the way, it looks like I just looked at it, we have 25 new members as of today. That's amazing. I am supremely grateful for that, to all of you that helped facilitate that. We can see you laugh out loud, your banners run across your face. Huh? Oh, yeah, I know. I need to bring my chair up higher. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a short little guy. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Hold on a minute here. Well, that's Miss Smith. That's part of why we're doing this, to show everybody, what they don't know about this case. Obviously, there's a lot to it, and a lot of people don't know, unfortunately. Is that better? There we go. Sorry, I was sitting pretty low too. I didn't realize my chair was down that far. So anyway, sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know that, SRB. Okay, 1 second here. All right. Give me one moment, guys. I got to dig and find this. I had this from a long time ago. Hold on. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go with this first to give you guys a little insight. Kimmy Q, what's going on, dear? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a great day today. All right, let's move into this here. This is just another little piece to help you understand some stuff. It is very deep. You are right, SRB. All right, here we go. And I'm sorry for the source I'm using on this, but there wasn't a lot that other sources that I could use. So
happens next in this case. Let's bring in former FBI agent Doug Coons. Doug, thank you so much for being here with us. I know you have spent a lot of time examining this case. Did you see this coming?
This last year, I would say yes. Prior to that,
1 second. Hold on, guys. I clicked the wrong link. My apologies. Like I said, I have a bunch of this stuff, and a lot of it has the same titling to it. Hold on. Now, there was somebody that was linked to this that they found that they claimed was very likely involved and was listed as a suspect at one point. Okay. Hold on a minute here. Give me 1 second, guys. I have too many of these. Woke up in 94. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Manny Joe, good to see you again. I didn't know you were still here. And what I need to do is show you guys different variations of different things, okay? Now, there was somebody that they involved in this case, like I said, by the name of Keegan Klein, who had his own thing going on, big time. And there are a handful of people that were looked at, a good handful, couple handfuls that were looked at initially in this, okay? Before they even got to Richard Allen. So understand that as well. I just have so much. I got to find the exact one. I'm sorry I didn't have it ready for you guys. I wasn't anticipating playing this one today, but we have some time, so I'm going to. Okay. Let me see something here. 1 second. Boom. Okay. I think that's it there. Yes, that's what you were reading my mind, Salty. That's what I was trying to find. And I was the one that came up was the Keegan stuff, and I wasn't sure to show what to show, but that was the first suspect. Yes, that's fact. And it's obvious that he's not Bridge Guy when you see who this guy is. Okay, but 1 second here. Okay, here we go. There's the one. I'll start. We'll start with this one to get you guys kind of up to date with this. I don't want to make you guys hang too long, but sorry about that. All right, here we go. And thanks again, Salty. Right. All right.
This tragic discovery, the Delphi community has been coming to terms, I should say, with a painful reality. Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally went back to the scene of the crime today, where neighbors still don't understand how this could happen to two young girls. Dave?
As police continue a very methodical investigation here, going down every road in the search for clues, some folks who live near the crime scene, they fear that their road will never be the same. The crime scene Thursday, a place property owner Ron Logan knows well, but never thought he
Mama
would
Bear.
go for something so tragic.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it yet. It's just so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me yet.
Up and down the hills, across that bank now circled with crime tape, his son grew up playing here.
Never in your wildest dreams do you think that he comes down here to play, he won't come back home.
He and his friends grieved for the victims, Liberty German and Abigail Williams, both 13.
That's why we come back. He goes, I want to show you what it looks like. You couldn't carry someone up and down these hills, or it's hard to walk by yourself.
We've been able to identify almost everybody else that's been on that trail, and this gentleman has not been identified, and we want to know what he saw, what he might have seen on the trail. Did he see somebody else that maybe some of the others didn't see?
The sheriff's department says the trail photos of a man released Wednesday have brought in about 200 tips, and they're checking every one of them, they say. Police want to talk to the man because he was on the trail about the same time as the victims.
I think they feel confident that we're going to get this guy or guys that were involved in this, and I think they're feeling confident that it's going to happen sooner than later.
Back at the crime scene, hoping for answers.
This place is never going to be the same. It'll never be the same, will it?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody will be, they'll be very vigilant now from here on out when they come down here.
All right, that's David McAnally tonight in Delphi. Now, here's another look at the man police are so desperate to talk to. Again, they have not said he's a suspect or a person of interest. Instead, investigators believe that he
Welcome,
is
Sarah.
the only person they haven't identified who was in the area at that time. Now, if you were in the area that day or you know anything that could help solve this case, police do want to hear from you. They've set up a new tip line for information about the murders of Libby and Abby. All tips should be called into that number, and you can remain anonymous. You see it right there on your screen. The number is 844-459-5786.
I knew the girl.
Sorry, I should probably unmute, right? Yeah. I want you guys to hear this too. This is the former Delphi prosecutor. I want you to hear what he says about this in regards to this situation. Okay. This was from 2 years ago, just so you guys know. There's a lot. There's a whole lot of different stuff. And after this, guys, I'm going to probably run it right about the 3 hours with this stuff. There's so much more. We'll have more days than this to do this. So plenty more, because there's a lot more, even from the beginning, that we're still looking at. Okay. So, wait, did I share that right? Hold on. And like I said, I know that there's people that think other things, that think, that I'm looking the wrong directions and this and that, but I'm not, guys. This needs to be looked at in this way. Bad. Okay. All right, hold on. Sorry. Awesome. The reason why I'm showing you guys this was like he's saying that they thought that this was, I hate to categorize this, like it was just like a case that it wasn't that big of a deal. It was not that going to be that hard to solve. Like he said, of course it's going to be solved. It's no big deal. 6 years, this was 2 years ago. So they were 4 years into this and it still wasn't solved at that point. It's still not yet completely, but they didn't even have anybody at that point. Okay. Solidly. And they were looking at like multiple people, like Salty had said, Ron Logan was like their first suspect, and they had multiple other people in here that they looked at. And again, we'll get to all that. But like he's stating, and that's why I want you to see this. This case is so complex and has been from the beginning that they've always struggled with and it's not, and I'm going to clarify something in a second. They've always struggled with the case in itself. I'm trying to think of the right words to put this in. And one thing I do want to clarify with everybody here real quick. By no means am I saying that the law enforcement that's involved in this, just like I said with Idaho, are all corrupt and are involved, everybody in this and that and everything else. There were police officers, guys, so that you understand this, other people involved in this that would not let this go being what they were claiming it to be. They were still looking into this regularly, trying to prove the truth on this, okay? That needs to be known. And again, something else that I want you guys to understand, just like with Idaho again, and I hate comparing that and making that comparison, but that's what most everybody knows about is Idaho, and we've covered it a lot. Everything we look at with this and everything I bring to you guys, or you see anywhere else for that matter, I want you guys to take all of that and use common sense and logic as you're looking at it, okay? There's no reason to invent anything on this. Not saying anybody would do that, but some people do that. Not anybody in here or anything like that, but it has happened. One rumor can get started that has nothing to do with this case, and all of a sudden it's right in the middle of the case, and everybody's going insane over this, okay? So we have to be careful, just like with any other case, how we're looking at this and using the common sense and the logic with every bit of what we see. Now, like I've told you guys, this is different, okay? There's no conspiracy to this. There's no rabbit hole to this. It's what we're seeing for ourselves. I'm going to say that again and again and again. It's real, it's happening, and it has happened all throughout this case. So it's not that it's an alleged thing that we're talking about or a speculative theory that we're basing it on. It's everything we're seeing, and I'm showing you stuff that's really happened, folks. This one, I'm trying to be as careful as I can when I bring it to you to show you as much of nothing but fact that we can. Okay, there's a lot of people that are working on this, looking into all of this stuff, by the way, and bringing you the very closest bit of nothing but truth that you can get, just so you understand that. But I do want you guys to please, please, please make sure that you're using nothing but common sense and logic as you look at this and you think about these things, okay? That's the only thing I'm asking. This is not Idaho. Everything here is documented, and we are being very, very careful as to what we're showing, what we're bringing to you, digging deeply, peeling back the layers on everything to make sure and vetting everything we can on this, because it needs to be seen for what it is. Fact, good or bad. Okay, understand that. Thank you, Salty, for that comment as well. Fact. Thank you.
Terminates at
And that's like I told you guys, this was no big deal. It's no big deal. It may look like it's way out there, but that's why when I wanted to show you guys the aerial footage, that you could see how close this was in comparison to like the neighborhoods where Richard Allen lived, and so on and so forth, guys, because it's not that big of a deal. These kids do this all the time. It's the thing to do for these kids, you know, that keeps them this and that and everything else. So once again, I please listen to everything this man is saying. Seriously. Um, oh my God, you guys, with this again, thank you, Brandy. Yeah, it is very close to town. Very, very close. All right. Like I said, guys, make sure you're taking notes with all this, please. There's a lot of good stuff in the stuff that we're showing you, no lie. And it will definitely help you understand what's going on. Okay. All right, 1 second here. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Now, this is another press conference I want you guys to see. This one's not that long. And then I think after this, we'll bring it down. We can talk about it here a little bit before we shut down, but this will be the last thing I show you guys. Then we'll talk about this and that. KK alters, damages, or removes any record, document, or thing with intent to prevent it from being produced or used as evidence in any legal proceeding. Right, got you. Yes, yes, that's fact too, Lynn. Thank you. Ray Baldick, good to see you. Okay. This was from March. It's up March 9th. Okay. Right, here we go.
Is the family's pasture here at Delphi United Methodist Church. So it's Todd Ladd, Toddladd. And then next is going to be Sheriff Tobe Lesenby. He's the Carroll County Sheriff. It's Tobe, and it's pronounced Tobe. And last name's Lesenby, Leazenby. And then the Mike Patty is the grandfather of Liberty German, Mikepatty. And he also is going to read a statement on behalf of the family of Abigail Williams. They've provided a statement to him that they would like him to read. After Mr. Patty has finished talking, he is willing to take questions from you. However, we're going to do this. I'm going to step up and filter those questions for him. If it is a legitimate question, he cannot and will not speak about the investigation. If it's a legitimate question for Mr. Patty, I'll step aside and allow him to answer it. After he's finished with that, I will come up and talk and answer questions about the investigation. But I can tell you there is nothing new that you guys don't know. So I'm not going to tell you anything today that hasn't been put out over the last couple of days, but I'll be happy to answer questions and kind of clarify some of the rumors that you're hearing and things like that. So we're going to start right at 10:02. Does anybody have any questions? Is everybody's sound working okay? Test 1, 2. Okay, we'll get going here shortly. About 1 minute. of Liberty German to make a statement. Morning, everybody. Sergeant John Prime of the Indiana State Police. Purpose of this press conference is to allow the family of Liberty German to make a statement. They also are going to read a statement on behalf of the family of Abigail Williams. We'd like to start by request of the family with a word of prayer from Pastor Todd Ladd of the Delphi United Methodist Church. Pastor.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would, join me in a word of prayer.
Carroll County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby.
Good morning. My main purpose this morning is to thank each one of you for being here. I also want to thank our community.
Welcome back, Beach.
And I want to send out a huge net of thank you to everyone that's even had this on their mind for the last few weeks. Without your help, without your involvement, we feel like that we wouldn't be where we are right now. We continue to move forward. We strive for justice, and we will get that justice. At this time, I want to introduce Mike Patty, Liberty German's grandfather.
Thank you, Tobe. I wrote down some stuff so I wouldn't forget what we'd like to communicate. My family put this together. So obviously my name is Mike Patty. This is my wife, Becky. We both like to thank you for showing up here today. I'd like to read a statement. I got to put my glasses on for this. So show my age a little bit. This is a statement from Abby's family. Abby and Libby loved each other. Throughout this tragedy, we have honored their memory by caring for and respecting each other. We respect Libby's family decision to speak publicly at this time, just as they respected our family's decision not to speak publicly, the family of Abby Williams. I would also ask that the media to respect their choice. Let them reach out to you if they so desire to do it. A little over 3 weeks ago, February 13th, our girls went missing. On February 14th, they were found victims of a double homicide. This horrible crime has torn a hole in our families that'll never heal. It's the small things that seem to hurt the most. It's just natural to holler for them to come to dinner or in the mornings to get up and get ready for school. Then expect them to come through the door after school. The silence when we don't hear their voice. Our girls were excited about the upcoming softball season. Just the day before all this happened, they had their equipment out playing catch, working on their batting in the backyard, going to the ball field with Anna to hone their skills for the upcoming season. But they'll never get to play a single inning again. There are too many ways to count how our lives will forever be impacted to share here today. I imagine most people listening that have raised or are raising children know how kids can be. A phrase that was jokingly attached to Libby and our family, from asking her to pick up her shoes, her school backpack, her coat, her first reply would almost always be,
That's what we're trying to accomplish, Shelley. So good. I'm glad. Thank you.
We joked with her about this all the time. I believe if she were able to speak, she would ask people, please give her the 1 minute she always asked for, to really study the picture and listen to the audio clip. Someone out there knows this person or persons. He's someone's neighbor, coworker, family member, friend, husband, or acquaintance. If and when any new information is released by law enforcement, please take another minute from your day to review all the information and help us collect the pieces of this puzzle. Both of our families are requesting everyone to please help Abby and Libby. Look for someone who's recently changed their appearance, cut their hair, shaved, or started wearing different clothes. Have they changed in some strange manner that just seems a little odd?
Think about that.
It could be, but then say, no, he's not like that. Go with your initial instinct. Let law enforcement run that information and make that determination. However small it may seem, it is extremely vital to capture every tip we can get. Please, we need your help. At this time, I'd also like to thank law enforcement and officials, along with our employers, pastors, the people and businesses of this great community across the state, nation, and beyond, who have pulled together around us, providing help and support in so many ways. From fundraisers, food for our families and law enforcement, to the hugs, handshakes, kind words, all of these items help. But again, we're asking everyone to take 1 minute and study the picture and audio, then report any information you may have to the tip or email line. We also say thank you for all the generous donations for the reward fund. To the individuals, groups, businesses, all of which are too numerous to name. A couple that stand out are Pat McAfee and Jim Irsay. With their donation, the reward fund is now well over $200,000. The other donations we've received in Libby's name have been utilized to establish a scholarship fund in her name. And the rest of the funds we hope to be used to build a softball field and park in the memory of the girls. So
Sorry, guys, I was muted again. Richard Allen admitted to being there that afternoon, described the clothes he was wearing, his gun matched the bullet at the scene, admits to parking at the old CPS farm building, and admitted that he killed him. That's correct. That's correct. And again, I'm not saying that Richard Allen is not the one that did this and that he's not the one and that he's not involved. I have not said that once, and I'm not going to say that because I don't believe that. I do believe that Richard Allen very possibly did this. And if not that he's definitely involved. Okay. The problem I have with the last thing that, I have issues with the fact that the admission of guilt. I don't trust that. And all these other things, yes, he did make comments. That's true. Okay. Again, that's not in question here. The issue is, one, understanding the case from the beginning. Okay. And then two, why the case is running the way it is right now. That's what the problem is. Making sure that there's true justice for these victims, period. And that includes the defendant, suspect in custody, getting a fair trial and making sure that there isn't anybody else involved. Because early on, the police even said that it's very possible there was another person. We don't know yet because we weren't there and we haven't had the trial to find that other information out. The biggest part of what we're doing right here and now is bringing everybody the whole case so they understand what happened from the beginning. That's all. But again, thank you, Lynn. Well, that's kind of true too, Murky.
Will be remembered forever and have something for everyone to enjoy. Now, I would like to thank the news media. I've had several conversations with many of you. Your professionalism and respect for our families has been honorable. We've lost our children and nothing will bring them back. But through your persevering coverage and help with this investigation, we are confident that together we can bring justice to those responsible for this horrible crime. We appreciate your time and help. Thank you very much.
If anybody has any questions for Mr. Patty, now would be the time to ask.
Mr. Patty, your granddaughter was heroic in her final moments. She was able to press record on her cell phone and provide key evidence to police the voice that we heard. How did you guys react when you learned that she was able to do this?
Well, I'm glad she had the wherewithal to do that, and I certainly hope that that proves to be the vital piece, that helps bring resolution to this. Obviously, we're proud. It's too bad it had to happen like that, But yeah, it was glad she had the wherewithal to do that. Thank you.
Oh, I definitely will, Sherry. No worries. I don't know if you guys know that. Again, thank you, Salty. That the bullet matching the gun is based on preliminary testing only. Period. Remember that, okay? It's not 100% an ace in the hole, folks. Hey, Groot. Charisma. Good to see you guys. And again, the defense and prosecution will present expert testimony on the bullet fact. That's fact 2 when we go to trial.
Well, first off, I'd like to address that is both the girls were heroes. They stuck together. I don't know exactly what happened out there that day, but I imagine there was probably an opportunity for one or both or to separate and try to make a break different ways. But those girls loved each other. They were good friends. Neither one of them left each other's side. Both those girls are heroes in my book. Absolutely. In our house, it's always, I love you, every time. That was without standing all of our grandkids, all of our children, everything. That's just it, you know. Before they go to bed, when they get up, drop them off for school, whatever it is, send a text message. It's always, I love you.
Absolutely. And you know, that's something I've always had problems with. The video is only 43 seconds long and never released entirely. Why? If you can give us 43 seconds of it, why couldn't you give us the whole thing? You don't think that's a little off? You don't think that's weird? Just give the whole video. What's the big difference? Why would you cut it and just show 43 seconds of it rather than the entirety of the whole thing? There's no good reason for that, folks. Tell me why. Because to me, I'll be honest with you, and again, there's no rabbit hole here. There's no conspiracy here. To me, if you're cutting 43 seconds out of a video and only giving that, what are you hiding in the rest of the video you don't want us to see? It's a little odd to me. I'm just saying. Yes, that's always been a problem, is the chain of custody concerning the bullet fact. That is in question as well.
Obviously, yeah, we would like to see somebody, responsible for this, but I'm relying on law enforcement, and the efforts that they're putting forward. They've been kind enough. They walked me through their process of how they're evaluating this. I'm kind of a process-oriented guy, so they walked me through that. I'm very impressed with the steps that they go through whenever they receive tips. And trust me, every tip, every call is checked. There's nothing that's just going into a bucket, even if it seems so silly. There's the cohesive, work between the state police, the county police, the FBI, and the city police, and officers from all over that are coming in is just truly impressive. I truly feel
they may have chain of custody, Lynn, but it's in question. It's not that they don't. That's the way that statement was written. You know what I mean? I understand what you're saying, but it is. It's not something that is solid, in my opinion.
Feel we're going to get to the bottom of this, and that's why I'm asking for help out there. Any tips we can get is monumental, and it could really bring this case to resolution. Thank you.
That is an amazingly good question, Eddie. If that video is 43 seconds long, which isn't the entirety of it, but that's what we saw. How long was the bridge guy acting suspiciously enough for Libby to want to decide to video him? When did he start acting that way? Was he doing it from the beginning? Or was it something that's a great question and a good statement, my friend. As always, thank you.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. The support that we receive from the community, the schools, her friends, law enforcement, just the public. our friends, coworkers, it's overwhelming, and it's the love that's poured upon us, and
Exactly,
the
Merc.
support is welcomed, you know, and we could sure use that right now.
And I agree with that too. What are your thoughts on that, Lynn? I've noticed you've made, and I appreciate your comments, by all means, I do. What are your thoughts on the confession, the admission of guilt from Richard Allen, from, you know, the way he did it? What are your thoughts on that one, Lynn, as far as that's concerned? And I mean it in all due respect. And again, absolutely everything you've commented on, I absolutely respect. But do you have any comments or any thoughts on the way the admission of guilt came to play?
Daily, multiple times.
This is your chance to talk to somebody out there, like you mentioned, that knows something that maybe is their dad, is their friend, they don't want to speak out with that reward. What can you tell them
Exactly, silence.
to get them to talk about what they took away from your family and why they need to come forward today?
Well, I'm hoping through the, if you want to call it the speech, or you know what I mean, that we developed or that we put together there and read.
Absolutely.
And I'm just reaching
And
out
I'm grateful
to help put closure. This is a hurdle and a path that we're going down that, I mean, the pain will always be there forever. But this is a hurdle that needs to be knocked down. And with the help of law enforcement, I truly believe it will. But
exactly,
we need somebody out there. Somebody knows something. Somebody has to know this person, recognize that voice.
And neither do
encourage
I,
them to
Eddie.
call
A lot
in
of people don't, buddy.
and give us that vital piece of information. No matter how small it may seem, it may fit into another piece of the puzzle that'll help.
Thank you again, Miss Brandy.
How are we maintaining optimism that she will still be found?
Okay.
Well, that's
thank you for that.
What we have right now is optimism, and in the pouring in of the tips and the support of the public, and again, all of our friends and everything that is coming into us. I mean, that's where we're gaining our strength right now.
You guys look at odds, okay? Use that as a baseline for this scenario, for this comment here, okay? She says, what are the chances that the prison guards will be probably wearing Ode Night patches? And then on top of that, the other things that related to that situation just happen to be the same. Odds. Odds are a thing, folks. You know, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 10 million to 1, 500,000 to 1. These are odds, folks. Like, what are the odds that these things could relate and be that close in relation and that much? I'm trying to think of the right words here. That coincidental, I guess. For lack, I hate the word coincidence, but still, seriously. As Salty says, my bet is coercion, and I absolutely agree with her. I really do, because we don't know nothing about that, how that went down. We didn't see that. We didn't hear that. And again, in my mind, I have a picture, a visualization of how that happened. And I've told you guys that already. Been on this case since day one. I believe those girls were never on that bridge that day. Sorry, folks, but it's not what they selling. I respect that. I do. Absolutely. Thank you, Kendra.
That and through our pastor, who's been a rock for us as well. Both of our families, we support each other. You know, Abby's family and ours, we're in contact. So we help each other get through this.
And yes, ma'am. The FBI report, the Purdue professor report. We're going to talk about all this, guys. And you're all going to put this in your bags as we give it to you, and keep adding it, and you will see why we feel the way we do.
Rumors here shortly. Yes.
Well, obviously, it's troubling for us as well as the whole community. The state,
I don't know about that.
The nation. Somebody's out there that's done this. They need to be brought to justice, and that's why we're holding this conference. We need somebody out there who has that vital piece of information to turn this in. You know, help this community, help this state, help our nation, help our families to bring this to justice.
You know the trails very well in that area. Do you, your gut instinct at this point from the family, think it's something that lives around here and knew those trails?
That's very true.
Alexis, we're not going to speculate right now on where they're from, and I'll get into that here shortly. So one more over here.
That is true as well. I've had no reason to believe anything else. Like I said, I respect your opinion on the other side of it, Kendra.
I don't know that I have a
I have
comment
no
right
reason to
now. I
believe
haven't thought
anything
that
else.
far ahead, to be honest with you. So try to be a Christian man. So I'll put more thought to that.
Last one here.
Why do you think Libby has the presence of mind to press this with that? Is that part of her personality? Is that something you guys taught her?
Obviously, she's a smart girl. She really was.
And that came.
We talked a lot about.
I understand that. We've seen how things have come from the judge.
The presence of mind of your surroundings.
You got to kind of take that a little lightly, in my opinion.
Obviously, she's kind of a photo
That's
buff
me, though.
anyway.
That doesn't mean everybody has to.
That's why the girls were out there taking pictures. That's why they went out there in the first place, to catch the scenery, do some video with each other, and that's just part of what kids do. And trust me, there's hundreds and if not thousands of pictures at home on all of our computers and stuff.
I absolutely
All of them
agree.
have done it over the years, so
1000% on that.
that's just part of their natural activity. But obviously, she had presence of mind, sensed something.
Amen to
little
that,
strange
right
there.
there. It's
I'm
fact,
glad
and that's
she
what
did.
we're doing. We respect it, and as
Thank you. I appreciate it.
she does it, as do I. Respect all opinions. But I'm just trying to run on facts as we know them. That's the best way to put it, and she's helping so much with that as well. At some point, she's
Cash
going to be joining me
reward,
up here one of these
thanks
days
to
to help go through
incredible,
this too.
generous
But she gets
donations from the community, from organizations,
fine, I'm sure, but
to bring the person or people responsible for this crime to justice is now over $224,000. Now, we know historically cash rewards aren't always claimed. We like to believe that somebody with the information would come forward out of the goodness of their heart to do the right thing. But there might be somebody out there that is motivated by this cash reward, and we would ask that person who knows something to come forward. There have been more than 11,000 tips come in to our command center. Of those 11,000, right now, 2,000 of those tips have been cleared with 110% positiveness that they are not related.
I'm sorry, I don't want
1,500 tips in the
myself.
queue
I
that need to
don't.
be
That's just me, though.
assigned to investigators to be looked into. There's a vetting process that these tips go through to ensure that we're not getting duplicates, to ensure that there is some merit behind the tip. But we want to encourage people to continue to submit those tips via email, by calling the tip line, send us social media. However you want to get that tip to us, we will look into it. Not one tip gets overlooked. There are rumors that are going around via social media that would lead people to believe that we know this person is not local, or vice versa, that we know this person is local. I want to reiterate and emphasize that we do not have that information. We don't want people to rationalize away their tip because they believe this person cannot be local. We don't want them to rationalize away their tip because they think this person is not local. So please, if you know anything, if you think you know something, trust your gut and give us a call. If you know somebody who owns a blue coat, if you know somebody who frequents those trails, if you know anything, we're asking for those tips because we will investigate. There are rumors that started to go about this being connected to other crimes throughout the nation. As protocol with any investigation of this nature, we compare to unsolved crimes throughout the nation. Part of that is the double homicide that occurred in Iowa. At this time, I can assure you, we have spoken with the investigators in Iowa. And at this point, it does appear to be coincidental that the two cases are similar. But based on the evidence, we are not able to connect the two cases at this time. I'd be happy to take a few questions. However, as much as you know, there is no new information to report. Yeah, Mike?
I know you just denied some of the rumors, but as you know, there's a lot of thousands of people spreading speculation when their imaginations going on social media. Local audience, you're going to have a lot of them watching you right now. What do you want to say specifically to people who are spreading unconfirmed information?
Yeah, spreading unconfirmed information or rumors could be detrimental to our case because it could lead people to believe, people who might have information about this case, to believe that we're closer to solving it or that we have information that we don't.
Which is why, precisely why I want everyone to use common sense and logic as you look into this case. And with everything that's brought to you, slow it down in your mind, be logical and commonsensical when you look at it and you separate all the facts, okay? That's all I'm saying. And that's why right there.
Spreading those unfactual rumors could be detrimental. It could slow the process. We're asking people, if you see something on social media, if you hear something, make sure it comes from a reliable source. That reliable source will likely be the Indiana State Police. If it does not come from us, please hold off on spreading those rumors. Yeah, we've talked to thousands of people in Indiana throughout the nation, and in talking to those people have led us to other crimes. Crimes that aren't related to this case, but people that have arrest warrants, people that have drugs, people that have things they're not supposed to have.
I get that, too.
And those become their own criminal investigation. However, there has not been an arrest related directly to this case in Delphi. Yeah, so part of any investigation involves a human element, also involves a scientific element. The scientific element of that investigation does include searching for DNA. At this point in the case, I can assure you that we are using every tool necessary, every tool available to us to find the person responsible, which would include looking for those clues. We're looking into everything, and so we are open-minded. We're not discrediting the possibility of anything being possible. And so, absolutely, if it's possible, we're looking into it, I can assure you. It doesn't matter what I think, it's what our investigation is going to lead us to. And our investigators are working around the clock. They're so resilient. I can assure you, every morning I walk into that building and these investigators are positive. The common phrase of the day is today's the day. Not today might be the day. Today's the day. They're optimistic. I've never seen a coordinated effort that I'm seeing right now. More than 25 police agencies, hundreds of officers have been involved in this. Incredible teamwork, and we are very optimistic that we are going to find a resolve to this case. You're asking me to speculate, and I'm not willing to speculate in an investigation of this magnitude.
Can you talk a little bit, the guys listening, like you mentioned before, where suspect profiling, you're obsessive about these covers you're watching, so he's watching it right now, or anyone that's involved, what you want to help him, let him know we're getting closer to every single day.
The investigation is eliminating people that we know are not involved. We are confident and optimistic that our investigation is going to lead us to the person responsible, and we're going to continue doing that until it does so. We're looking at everything. I'm not telling you yes or no to that question because I'm not aware of a specific investigation leading us to that, but at this point we're open to anything. Yeah, those things take a lot of time, and I can assure you that they're giving every resource they have to this investigation.
Thank you, True Love
those,
Life and True Crime. I appreciate
we don't
that.
have any definitive
You got it,
answers.
but I appreciate you very much for that. Another membership gifted. That's awesome.
Anything we have in this case is going to be beneficial, and so if that's a tool that we have in our toolbox available to us to benefit this case and to move it forward, then we're absolutely going to use it. You would have to speak to the FBI about that. I have not been given information either way.
Thank you so much, dear. God bless.
Any other questions? Yeah, Alexis, this is emotional for all of us. I can tell you that it's not easy, and
Thank you, Sherry, so very much for that, hon. I appreciate that.
a lot of people are putting a lot of work into this, and we're hoping that the tip's there, and we're going to find it. Thank you. We'll be available for individual interviews if you need so. The Patty family has asked not to be contacted today for an
See, the
interview,
case
but
has been
they
hard
are
on a
willing
lot
to
of
do that in
people.
the future, and that should be coordinated
You can see
through
it on
us.
his face.
Thank you very much.
Just wrong. These things should never happen. Horrific. Absolutely horrific. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for today. We've been going about 3.5 hours. There's so much more, and we are bringing it back, folks. Again, thank you for that, Sherry. That's my Amazon wish list. Anything that anybody has purchased through that or should choose to, oh God, I appreciate that so very much. You have no idea. It definitely helps with what we're doing here. Exactly, Charisma. It's horrifying. It really is to ever even think about it, you know. And these people all go through a lot. They really do. Emotionally, physically, mentally, it's a lot. So, I don't know. Guys, I want to thank you all for joining me today for this. Like I said, we're just getting started into this, and we're trying to bring you guys, like I said, it's kind of flip-flopped around, but we're trying to bring you the best timeline possible, showing you all everything in this case, going back to the beginning, how different things happened, who was involved, who was listed as suspect, just any bit of it we can. And I really appreciate you guys being here to get this, to take this in. Again, guys, thank you for for wanting to take notes. And we got everybody, I want you guys please to thank Salty for her time. She's been an amazing resource for me, helping me to find these things, because like I said, guys, this is 6 years worth of information. It's a lot, and I don't, in some places, don't know where to find it. Some of the things it's almost near impossible, and thank God that she's been in this long enough that she's got a lot of this stuff. I have a decent amount, but not enough, and she's helping me. So please show the gratitude where it's due, because she's working really hard on this, folks. And there's Molly's digging on this, I'm digging on this, and there's quite a few other people that are looking on this. So please thank you for your patience. I respect all of your opinions. I really do. Thank you, Salty, so very much. It means a lot, and it's important that we get this out, you guys. It's very important, and then we put it out the right way. Like we said earlier, we're being very careful with what we're trying to show you, to put out there, to make it the right way, to show it the right way, I should say. Okay, because it's that important. Thank you, Stevie. Exactly. Teamwork, and it makes it work the best way, folks. The best way. We work together and not against each other. That's the best way for it to happen. And thank you for that, Stevie. Absolutely. Most appreciated. Absolutely, Karen. And thank you all again. Thank you guys for hanging with us and for taking it in. And again, guys, like I said, take notes, because there's so much more. There really is. I love you guys to death. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you guys to anybody that may have donated to any of the links or did anything with the Amazon list. I appreciate that so very much. We're throwing in our Amazon lists as well for the mods out here. They deserve some things too. They put in a lot of hard work, so we appreciate all you guys. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. You never know when you'll see me again, but for sure, if nothing else, Friday. But you never know. I pop in and out of here all the time. So, guys, have a great rest of your day, guys. I appreciate you so very much. Don't forget to love yourselves and to love each other. And don't change a thing about yourselves because you are the beautiful people. Love you all so very much. God bless. And I will see you all so very soon. Bye-bye.